Hi guys.
Hi.
We're on take 2 of the Six Pack Podcast, episode 12. Harry, how are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Are you
My
feeling good?
internet's more stable in this room. I
Excellent.
hate this Airbnb. It's
We'll,
horrible.
we'll get onto that. We'll get onto that.
Okay.
Excellent. We have a guest who we will let introduce themselves here in just one moment. But before we do, housekeeping. Shan, Harry,
Mm-hmm.
do you have any housekeeping?
I want to make sure we talk about the cookie incident in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only bit of housekeeping. I don't know where it goes. We need to talk about it.
We'll do that here in a second,
I can't think of anything.
Mhm.
Shan, or maybe we'll do that. We'll do that during the news, maybe.
Mm.
No housekeeping for
Okay.
you, Shan.
I mean, I'm excited to finally talk about my son, Tamuel Saphael Rowers,
Excellent.
but that's about it.
Excellent. We do have Modception here today. So that's the only other thing that we need to maybe worry about. But
Oh, I don't get in trouble
Yes.
with the mods.
This has been foretold that this might happen.
That
And if
this
this
might
did
happen,
happen,
You know, I did think of Harry during there was a bit where, I think it was in the Ask Us Anything, where Ben was like, I'm going to make a channel in the Discord server. And I was like, I meant to actually message Harry and go, can he do that if he's server, like if
he's
he's
an admin.
muted?
He can most definitely create.
Oh
Yeah, he
no,
can.
he can get
can
get
make
around
it.
the walls. He can get in. He's
he
in the
can most
walls.
he can
definitely.
make whatever he wants. I can't
I mean, he
delete
hasn't,
channels.
so we're safe. So,
Yeah.
We can't delete channels,
well,
which is one of the really funniest
It'll
things.
just be their job to moderate the
Mm.
channel once Ben has created it, which heaven help you guys.
yeah.
Right. Without further ado, sir, the floor is yours.
Hello there. My name's Nathan. You will know me from the Discord as, well, it depends where you're from. People from England seem to call me Tor. I would pronounce it Tawe, but it's up to you, really. Call me by my first name, whatever
I
you
was
want.
right.
Oh, you've guessed.
I did, because we talked back in November. And so I was talking about how we talked, and I said Tawe, because so I assumed it was.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't know what it is with English people, but I subbed to someone who's Swedish, and he says it correctly. So I don't know why everyone else says Tor, but whatever, you know.
Shan being correct will be a theme of this episode.
It doesn't happen very often. You got to let me have it. Actually, it happens a lot, but I'm never allowed to enjoy it, is what it is.
Right on. Nathan, how did you find Natural Six? What is your connection to this roving band of hooligans?
So through Alex, I watched Alex on Twitch before Natural Six was a thing. I've been subbed to Alex for about 4 years on Twitch, and I just followed him over basically.
Excellent. What drew you to Alex? What was the sort of first thing? Did you see him on Twitch beforehand? Did you know him as an actor before?
So I still watch someone called Lionheart X10. He does like Total War game like playthroughs. And he's a friend of Alex's. And when Alex started streaming, he would support him by raiding him every so often. And that's so I was in a raid once and just stuck around, found him very entertaining. At that time, you could give bits and stuff, and it would make jump scares, and he really didn't like it, and we all really did. So it was a good laugh. Yeah.
Excellent. How long have you been modding for Alex now?
I don't know. That's a good question. Probably 2, maybe 3 years.
Okay. So
Yeah.
a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah.
And how did you find? So obviously you came to Natural Six kind of via that path. Were you around for the Kickstarter then, or?
I was. Unfortunately, there was I had no money at the time to support the Kickstarter. So, but I was around from day one. Yeah. Although I think Harry's probably the first one to join the Discord, or one of the first. So.
Yes, probably. I mean, there was a decent few people who joined the Discord itself before I did, but yeah, I mean, yeah, there was a couple of mods who kind of like got brought on close to the beginning. I remember like you and a couple of others also kind of came on from Alex's crew to come and help because the server got very big very quickly. So thank you for your service.
Well, I don't do anything.
We'll salute our mods.
Need those community volunteers, otherwise this stuff doesn't happen. Very cool. So Harry, your backer record continues, sir.
Yeah, back at number 3. Let's go. Whoever 1 and 2 is, we need to find you.
That's
but
your that's your project. For
kindly,
next time you see the
it's
crew
not
in
a
person.
threat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is to
Find out who crew 1 or 2 was.
Yeah, who backer number 1 and number 2 are.
Hmm.
Very cool. So, did you know much about tabletop role playing? I mean, obviously the 40K. Was it 40K then?
No, so I have a Total War Warhammer Fantasy.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've done no tabletop gaming really. Tried it when I was in school, but it was really expensive to get into when you're in school, so it didn't happen. And then we tried playing D&D at work, which tells you how much work we were doing at work. And then before we could really start, we all left, unfortunately. So I made a character once upon a time. This was probably about 6 or 7 years ago, and I've never actually played.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So you didn't really know so was Natural Six the real serious intro for you to D&D then?
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
Other than playing video games and stuff in the D&D universe, effectively.
Would be tabletop RPG, I guess, wouldn't it? Warhammer, I guess. But
Yep.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, we'll have to see about getting you an opportunity to have your first game.
Absolutely,
Everybody deserves to get a chance to play. Very cool. Shan, would you like to ask the question?
Which question are we doing? Like all 3 of them now, or just one of them, or 2 of them? I guess.
I feel like our classic traditional question.
Classic traditional.
We can start with, and then see where it takes us. Yeah.
Okay. So, number 1, it's a 2-part question. What's your favorite polyhedral die? And then, what's your favorite number? But it doesn't have to be on your favorite polyhedral die.
Okay. So I prepared this answer thinking that the number had to be on the die.
No.
So my favorite numbers, my lucky number is 11.
Okay.
So that's good.
And I would choose the D20 because it feels the top end of the D12. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're reaching for the top, but you're kind of middle in with a D20, so that was okay.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, it still
That's
works.
a cleanly prepared answer.
Yeah.
Got good logic to it.
Somebody's
good
been,
logic,
somebody's
good
been
reasoning.
listening.
Yes.
Yes.
Very good. Harry.
Yeah. Let me ask the question that I'm most qualified to ask with my history. So, Tawe, which Final Fantasy is the best Final Fantasy, in your opinion? Or objectively, your choice.
This is where I expect this podcast to end here.
It's a tough question.
I've never played any Final Fantasy.
So you get to just pick a number. It's honestly really easy for you. You can just pick a number.
The right answer.
But there's a right answer.
There is a right answer, and that's if you choose your favorite number right now. There is a Final Fantasy 11. It does exist.
Okay, I'll go with 11. Sure, why not?
All right.
There you go.
11
You chose
is
the
well
other one.
loved.
Congratulations.
11 is well loved by the people who play 11. So
Yeah.
Yeah. And how many people play 11?
I don't know how many people still play, but it still has active players.
About 11. Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe.
Oh
You were
dear.
doing,
Yeah, we really
doing me a
have.
favor there, Harry. Yeah,
I'm going to get rocks thrown at me.
Well,
don't know.
I mean, so 11 was their first foray into like online gaming.
Yeah.
So it's like they now have 14, which is like a monumental online, game. So like obviously there are people who are still really loyal to 11, still really love stuff about 11 and still play 11, but a lot of those people have probably moved on to 14 because it's like actively being continued service, but they do keep service open for 11. So, take that as you do.
Thank you, games preservation. And it's like, I mean, currently in the new expansion, the Alliance raids, I want to say, the Alliance raids are 11 themed.
Yeah, I believe they are, because they did 12 like a few years ago in Shadowbringers, which I loved those raids. But yeah, they have been giving like service to 11 in this past expansion, so
good for them.
Yeah, I
who's
don't
to
know.
say?
Can you still play? I was looking to see if you could still play 11.
I've seen people saying they still play it. And there was a YouTuber I watched who played every single mainline Final Fantasy, so he could like review what did things good, what did things bad. Never knows best, by the way. It was a very long video. I did not watch it all at once. And I believe he did play 11, if I remember correctly.
It looks here like the only platform you can currently play it on is PC.
That makes sense.
Which does make sense. And wow, yeah. So apparently you can still play it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, play it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Vanna DL.
Cool. I think if you're into strategy games, Nathan, and that Final Fantasy Tactics might be up your street. And
We
there's
manifested.
a remaster coming.
Yes.
We did. We
manifested that. That was so funny.
We did manifest it. Yes.
I
We
literally
manifested
yelled.
a lot of things in that call.
But
A lot
I
of
will
things were
say,
manifested.
I found out that I believe they didn't do the music, which is kind of a bummer. Like, I think it still has like the original music as it was. Like, they might have remastered it, but it's not orchestrated or anything, which is kind of a bummer. But like, last time Masayoshi Soken did say like he never wants to do 2 games at the same time again because he did 14 and 16 while undergoing treatment for cancer. So at the same time, I respect it, but it is kind of a bummer to like have this big deal remaster. You put voices on everybody, like that's a huge deal, but you don't do anything about the music. That's kind of crazy. That's just that's my little soapbox. I love video game music, so like for me, I was looking forward to the music as much as I was looking forward to like getting to finally play this game. But
yeah, it's going to be tricky with the pixel art kind of remaster that they're doing to then dramatically. It would be, I think, tricky to then dramatically change the music, but I guess I will reserve judgment until
we will play it.
Until it comes out.
I definitely want to play it. So I will definitely like. I'm not. It doesn't change my mind. I want to play this game. I said I wanted to play it, and I still want to play it. So.
Yes.
Give everything fantasy like 10 minutes after the game releases. Boom, you've got orchestra release for the entire. Like you'll have your orchestral remaster. There you go.
There is that too.
Yeah.
Right. Last question.
Last question.
Secret question. What's your favorite cheese?
Oh,
It's so hard.
I'm partial to brie.
I like a brie.
We like we often we used to do it every Sunday, but then we were putting on the pounds, so we have to stop. Get a brie in the oven, bake it, fresh bread, dip it in. Yeah, it's basically heaven. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's a good choice. Cool. Excellent. Well, lovely to have you.
Nice to be here.
Let's take a quick boo at the comments, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's do it.
There was quite a bit of chatter around what is the best Final Fantasy.
Oops.
It is one of those questions, you know.
Yep.
I mean, there's some people who we know their answer, Ben Star, Final Fantasy VIII. there's some people who, like me, like I flounder because I think every game has strengths and weaknesses, and they all mean a different thing to me based on when I played that game. And Final Fantasy X-2 is actually the real best Final Fantasy. But there's some people who know, and I respect them. It's just so hard for me because I've played so many, and like it's not that I don't have an attachment to any of them. Final Fantasy X-2 is the best Final Fantasy. But it's just that I see so many strengths and weaknesses and differences in all of them. It's hard to choose one. So I respect people who know an answer to that. I respect it.
So Kenneth went with Final Fantasy VIII, which can't disagree with him. It's a good one. Jazzy B went with I would say not the one that many people would flock to. He went for 6, which is just a different time fundamentally. Which one?
Yeah, 6 is like a fine wine pick. That's like true people who know they're recommending 6 are recommending 6.
I want to get the Pixel remaster mostly for 6.
Hmm.
If I like every time I come back to thinking about buying it, it's usually 6. That's like, because I played one of those was it their Crystal Chronicles when they redid 3, like for the Game Boy Advanced or whatever. I think it was called Final Fantasy 3 Crystal Chronicles or something like that. And I did enjoy that, even though I wasn't very good at it. But it was like essentially a whole Pixel remake. They, kind of similar to what's going on with like Tactics. But like, but 6 is like, I don't even want to replay 3. I just want to do 6. I want to see what's going on there.
6 is definitely the fine wine choice.
Yeah.
For sure. And
unsurprising from Mr. Minis himself.
Mr. Minis himself, yes. Martina has not played a Final Fantasy, which we need to fix for her. But
which one do we suggest that she plays then?
Good question.
I almost think like we have to say the obvious answer just because we have 2 natural 6 boys in one of them. Well, now we have 2 natural 6 boys in 2 of them.
In 2 of them.
But which it was really funny when Harry popped up, and I was like, hold on a second.
I feel like
this was before Natural 6, so I was like, hold on. I know that, man.
I assume what you're saying is that
I would have to
16,
say,
but
I would also recommend, like, as somebody who is back into Final Fantasy, who didn't play most of them and hadn't played them in years, I honestly tell people 7 Remake is, if you want to get interested in how their storytelling works and all that, and kind of get the vibe for the themes, and you're more into modern gaming, Remake is a great way to at least step into the world of Final Fantasy for a newbie.
I would say 8 does that as well.
8 would be a good one. Yeah, if I had to pick a turn-based one, I'd probably pick like 8 or 7 for sure. Like I said, if I had to do modern, it'd be Remake. 10. 10 is one I would. That was my first, like 10 and 10 too. So like, that's easy for me to say if you want to try a turn-based one.
What do you think is a good gateway drug for Final Fantasy, Harry?
I was gonna just say. Meanwhile, the moderators over here who just have not really got strong opinions on Final Fantasy, just sort of nodding me like.
Wait, do you know
my recommendation?
Yeah.
14.
My recommendation. I mean,
I would not do 14.
Recommend. I mean, 14 would be. 14 technically was my first Final Fantasy.
Okay.
So there's what I would say. I mean, and I'm not gonna, there's the meme option, Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins, of course. That's the option that you'd always got to say if you want the funny option.
Theater Rhythm should be your first Final Fantasy. Kingdom Hearts should be your first Final Fantasy.
Yes, Kingdom Hearts is your first Final
Technically,
Fantasy. Technically,
Kingdom Hearts was my first Final Fantasy, but it was 10 too.
Oh boy.
It's the thing that I just sort of realized that is like annoying about me is that like I need to give more serious answers and not lace them in like 10 like layers of irony.
You do,
but
for the
please.
But please. I really want to say a funny one. This is a funny one. I think that what you should do if you want the best Final Fantasy is the remake of the end of the greatest RPG of all time.
Go on.
No, that's it. That's the name of the game.
The remake of the greatest RPG of all time.
No,
Excellent.
the remake of the end of the greatest RPG of
Oh,
all
the
time.
end. Just the end.
Google
Okay.
Google that. It's yeah, it's a funny indie game it's an indie game. I won't explain it. That's my option. That's the best Final Fantasy because it's basically about what the fudge is a remake anyway. How do you remake Final Fantasy? And maybe there's Eldritch Horror in it. Yeah. Other than that, I don't know.
Great.
Like
Fantastic, man. Fantastic.
maybe 13. Try 13. Why not? Let's go 13.
13. If they ever re-release it, because that is something they have been sitting on and people have been begging for, so that
Just get a PlayStation.
people
Get
want
a
to
PlayStation
replay
3.
it. Yeah,
Just
please.
buy a PlayStation 3.
Come
just
to my
play
house.
13.
I still have a PlayStation 3 and I have Final Fantasy 13. You can come to my house and play Final Fantasy 13. Everybody is welcome.
Good.
Yep.
Fantastic. Of course, Mark from Crafted Campaigns did choose 7,
Of course he did.
which is predictable.
Yep. He's 3D printing a Scorpion Sentinel as we speak to put in the game.
Can I ask a silly question?
Go
and
for
we had
it.
a long chat, long back and forth, he and I, about various different games and which ones were available at which time and all that kind of stuff. And I realized that the European experience was very different than the North American experience because at that time there could be as much as 12 months lag between NA releases and European releases for
Browsers.
Japanese
Oh,
games.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh gosh,
when I
yeah.
was
It's one of
looking
those
back
things where
at
you
the
wouldn't
timings.
think about it until somebody said it. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense to me if I think about it, but like we're also in a globalized world now where like that doesn't typically happen anymore. So
Yeah, it was a big.
I forget that happened back in the day.
there were big delays. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to
Yes,
say,
sir.
do you think there are people who exist whose like first Final Fantasy game is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, like without having played like remake or 7?
I think so. I think.
Oh
so.
yeah.
I think there's lots of people who haven't played
So
7.
the reason I say that is in part because, well, first of all, they marketed, they said, because they were asked, and I remember me and my friends were all like, huh? They said they wanted you to be able to play Rebirth without playing Remake, which is why they have a big kind of recap at the beginning of the game so that you can.
Oh wow.
I think some people they sold it as a bundle though, so you could buy both of them and have both of them. It was a reasonably priced bundle too. I was really impressed. But I wouldn't be surprised if people started with Rebirth simply because it got, whether I agree with them or not, really great reviews. And people have FOMO. They're going to want to play the game that got really good reviews so that they can like discuss whether they agree if they deserve it or not. So I'm certain there are a ton of people who just, my first Final Fantasy was 10-2. I didn't play it first. So like, I guarantee there are people who either thought it wasn't tightly connected to the first one or just wanted to be part of the zeitgeist and just played it. Guarantee.
I mean, it's a good game just by itself. Like,
It's a great, yeah.
Right. That's
if
good.
you're invested in the arc, then great. If you're not, I think it stands pretty nicely on its own. But yeah, I think if you listen to Square though, Harry, they will tell you that Rebirth didn't sell that well in comparison to their targets, and the general community sentiment on that is, well, lots of people didn't play the game didn't buy the game because they didn't play the first one, and it's a big time investment to play both, right?
There was also like, as someone who's in those circles, there were some complaints about how they chose to market the game initially, and I agree with them. They chose the way they introduced it at the Game Awards was super weird for what it was. And the trailer was did not instill a lot of confidence in people who were excited about, like, I know my friends were like, what is this trailer? Why are we watching a ballad at the Game Awards? And like, I know that's like Uematsu, like that's brand TM. He loves a ballad. But it is a strange way to start your marketing campaign. It also was kind of a what's like a cannibalistic homunculi. Like they were still promoting 16, and then they were like, now time for 7 because we decided we were going to release them within 8 months of each other. So it was like the marketing kind of dropped the ball a little bit. I wouldn't entirely blame the marketing. It is also a second game in a series of 3.
Yep.
And it's a huge time commitment compared to Remake. massive time commitment compared to remake. And so like I just thought, like, as somebody who was like in that circle at the time, I'm kind of out of it because the fandom irritates me. There was a lot of questions from established fans about what they were doing with their marketing when they first started, and it feels like they almost couldn't catch up with, like, the marketing relied too much on you knowing too much already, and it's like, no, you should be trying to get people to play remake before you release this game. What are you doing? So
Yeah, it's a tough thing to do though, Shan, right? Like,
it's tough.
Yeah, I think you're probably damned if you do, damned if you don't there.
Yeah.
I think my only experience with Final Fantasy VII remake series is going to be the final game, and I'm going to go in not having played the previous ones. I don't
He's
want to
gonna
see
go
what
right
happens.
into disc 3 or not disc with
I'm
2.5,
going
disc
straight in.
2.5.
I think that'll be doable.
It probably will be.
Yeah, I can't imagine it wouldn't be doable.
A little
I mean-
crazy, but
I mean, it's not like they're expansions to each other. You basically start over again in each game.
I
right?
will be
So-
starting
Yeah.
Expedition 33 in Act 3.
you're already playing Expedition.
That's-
We don't
you've already
believe
played it.
you.
It was a
We just don't
hypothetical.
believe you.
It was a hypothetical. Anyway, sorry, I've derailed again. Comments.
It's okay.
How many comments? What do you
That was
do
it.
people agree?
Mark was the last
I think that's
one.
it. Mark was it. We talked a little bit about each individual game.
It's good.
I reminisced a bit about playing Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah.
That was emotional. It was emotional for me to have the game remastered and released because it just brings back all of these things that you pushed aside, right, or moved past. So it'll be an emotional time for me to play the remaster.
I'm
If you want to know
excited.
why, you can go read the YouTube comments from the last episode. Cool. I think it's news time.
New news,
I love news.
but not the news.
I like good news.
Yeah.
Like the Natural Six
Let's
news.
focus on Natural Six news rather than news of the world.
NSN.
Let's just have
NSN
a
Network. We're gonna
Natural
start
Six-
that.
Natural Six News Network. We got one more episode this month.
They've got
It's gonna
one
be a
more in
biggie.
them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're finally caught up to, like, when things started. When I got so excited when I heard mention of PAX, and I was like, I know where we are in the timeline.
And I believe that Holly did say that she now has the videos for both of the MCM shows, so those will go up on Patreon, which is cool.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
everybody who went to PAX and was like, "Oh, it's a bummer. Everybody else got to watch our shows." Well, you'll get to do the same now for the.
I just wanted to
UK
see the
shows.
heist. I was bummed because I love a heist, and I was like,
That was
dang.
a heist. Dang.
There was a
Yeah,
heist.
like there was a heist. Andrew told me, he was like, "Oh, it's a heist," and I was like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the boat stuff. That was hilarious. But I was like, I want to see Ocean's 6. So I'm very excited. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It stands up, I think, on its own, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Cool. Other things that have been happening. I mean, we're gonna have all that stuff come out, obviously. Just yesterday was the Alters one shot. Have any of us watched any of the Alters one shot?
I've watched a good half an hour to an hour of it.
Oh,
Some
I
fun
thought about
stuff.
dipping in, but I was already like 2 hours late because I had work. So like because I saw they were having a fun little, they were having their own watch
Yeah.
party, and I was really excited. But I was like, I don't want to dip in like this far in.
Shout
So
out to
I'm just gonna watch it later, especially because I can't. Doc
was
said
ru-
I
who
shouldn't
was
play
running?
it yet.
who's
Kari.
running? Oh, Carrie was running.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes,
Shout out
yes.
to everyone who was doing the.
Because I wanted to see who was screen sharing, so I specifically hovered over
Just
it to
hovered
see.
over?
Yeah, because I was like, well, Doc's not in there, so who's running it?
Yeah. They did. I think Carrie did ask me whether I was going to join, but I was putting kids to bed and doing all sorts of other stuff. yesterday. Nathan, it sounds like you've committed to watching.
Yeah, I watched it today. So yeah, a little bit
Awesome.
behind, but definitely worth a watch once you get a spare 4 hours.
Yeah, it's a proper chunky one. Yeah, it's a proper meaty episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
And
you
it's
have to
also,
decide, do you
yeah.
want to play or do you want to watch it's like, do I play the altars or do I watch the altars one shot? What do I do? What do I do?
That's part of my problem a little bit, Shan, is that
I tried to, yeah.
I'd like to play the game.
Yeah, exactly. Want to play.
Yep. And we'll get to that here probably in a second on what we've been up to. So yeah, cool that that's out. I mean, it's great for the guys to have some extra marketing and the co-marketing of that and exposure, which is great.
Thank you, AMD.
Yep. Thank you, AMD. Thank
and
you,
11-bit
11-bit.
Studios.
Nathan, it sounded like that Alex got a bunch of Twitch followers around the same time as well. So he's like up over 15,000 now.
Oh, wow.
So he went live accidentally.
As he does.
Oh, yeah, I heard
and
about
it pinged
this.
the Discord, and then so the chat filled up really quickly. Oh my word! How are you live? Why are you live? There was no announcement, and then it went offline very quickly, and there was an apology not long after.
I love him.
He's up there in followers. Obviously, the game itself released on Friday. Really great reviews. I would say, which is great for Alex. A little bit of press never hurt. He was all over everywhere, I think, during that Key 3 weekend. There's a GameSpot interview. There's at least a couple other interviews. He was on a couple streams. Yeah, he was having a great time promoting the game. So
It seems like it's been reviewing well, which is really cool.
Yeah,
Good
Yeah,
stuff.
very
it's been
exciting.
reviewing well.
Did we find out how much it costs in the end?
It is.
Oh, it's like, hold on.
$40
It finally,
I think?
it finally, you know what's crazy? Because I had to explain this to my friend because we were watching Andor and we were talking about the altars. And I said,
wow.
you know what's super weird? It didn't even show up in Steam until the second it came out. So like none of us knew how much it was going to be.
there
Okay.
was no pre-pricing.
Yeah. So for me, it's regular price for the regular normal game because it's on sale right now is $34.99 USD. If you
That's a
want
good
the
price.
deluxe, it's $47.83 USD. My credit card bill rolls over in like a day, 2 days on the 19th, so that's probably when I'm gonna buy it. That and date. No, I already pre-ordered everything. I'm getting the Resident Evil bundle because you cannot. That deal is insane. But yeah, so I literally had to explain to my friend because he didn't believe me. I was like, it wasn't on Steam. There was no information. You could wish list it. You could not do anything else. It literally just, I got like, I was at work, email, just like, here's the game. Yeah, I thought about getting it for my, getting like a Johnny John, but it's like, I haven't decided how I want to do this yet, which is why I haven't bought it yet either.
Yes. So I'm a sucker for a physical version. So
I could look that up right now, actually, if I wanted to.
And it was also reasonably priced. I think the only thing I don't like about it is that it's not the deluxe version of the game. So you don't get the.
You still have to get.
You don't get the soundtrack and the additional kind of skin for your main Jan, and you don't get the future DLC. But they do have an upgrade pack, so if if you get the regular game, you can upgrade your version to the deluxe. So
Is he called Jan because it sounds like one? He's like the first one.
You'll have to ask Alex next time you see him.
Oh,
Here's
damn.
my question for as a fellow physical media enjoyer.
Yes, Shan?
To get a physical version, because as you know, I have a PS5. Do you think I should get a game that actually has a physical version, or do you think I should still stick with the Steam code because I'm playing on my PC? What do you think? Advice for the listeners too, in case anyone has the same dilemma, because I'm a big proponent of physical media. That's why I have this bad boy, the Lumiere edition for my PS5. Yeah.
I mean, if you're playing it on PC, I honestly, like, there is no disc, right?
Yeah,
like,
there isn't. Exactly.
It's just a box
It's
with
just
a code inside.
So you're buying a box and what comes in the box.
Yeah, I mean, for the signature edition, which is kind
I
of
have it open.
their, I guess, if you will, their collector's edition, effectively.
Yeah.
You get some kind of cool stuff inside. But
I love the pierogi press.
yeah, the pierogi press is cool. I have not used the pierogi press yet. But yeah, you get some kind of cool stuff. Obviously the little jewel case and everything for not the disc, which is
For
kind of
your
cool.
code, yeah.
But I would say if you have the option of playing it PS5 versus PC and you are happy to play it on console and want a physical version, I would do that there. Because you can get the physical versions. Although the PC version is, I think, $5 cheaper.
Yes, and the PS5 one is not out until July.
Yeah, the console versions are the physical stuff is not out, I don't think.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where, like, I had pre-ordered Expedition 33 with the intention of playing it on my PS5, and then I decided I wanted to play it on my PC so I could start it as soon as possible. But I am just like, it's so hard in these days if you're a physical media defender, because, like, obviously 11-bit, Kepler, Sandfall, I trust all of them. They're smaller studios, but these bigger studios can just take these games away. You don't actually own them. And so that's why I'm always like, do I want to have a backup for a console that I can always go to, even if I play it on my PC? Like, I'm lucky enough that I have that dilemma. I'll put it that way. But it is a constant dilemma whenever I want to play a new game that's on the several consoles or the several formats. Because it's like, I don't know if anybody else has this problem. Feel free to talk about it in the comments. But, like, this is always, like, a major dilemma for me.
Yeah, I mean,
always.
That ship has obviously completely sailed
Yeah.
on PC. I was saying to the guys, I think, in the Discord that, yeah, I honestly, I cannot even remember the last time I had a physical media drive in my PC. Maybe Harry's got a DVD drive in his laptop. I don't know.
Not on this one, unfortunately. It's they not in this day and age, unfortunately. It's all about USB sticks and USB-C.
Yep. So yeah, that's the alters. News-wise, came out on Friday, reviewing well. Shan, Date Everything is out.
Today.
You've got it pre-ordered.
Oh wow,
Yep.
it's out today. Holy fudge.
Have you played yet? Or
I've played the demo for a little bit because I was up. As you guys know, I have a newer dog, and I don't like to keep him in the crate all day. So I haven't played it yet today because I pre-ordered it for my PC. I have played some of the demo. It's very cute, very fun. It definitely sounds like the performers are having fun in the different roles that they have. I have met Ben. He's unavoidable. He is eternal. He is everywhere. Like, he is he's literally in the walls. I think I said to my friend, like, I don't want to spoil anything, but, like, again, this is the demo, so you can listeners can guess how this goes. So I won't say exactly, but, like, he is a character you have to meet. He is inevitable. And so I literally said to my friend as I was playing the demo, because we were on a call, I said, you literally can never escape Ben Star. He will always find you. And it just is very
like in
funny.
Expedition 33 as well. It's so
exactly.
So he will find you.
He will find you.
Scary thought. Shan.
But it's also funny because he's playing a bouncer kind of voice, so it's just very funny because it's just like in my head I know that's Ben Star, and you can hear it's Ben Star, but it's so funny hearing him, like, do something like to change to alter what he sounds
Uh-huh.
like, and he's playing like this bouncer, like no funny business, like
Isn't
you
it
have to
also
go
the
through me to
same?
get in, kind of guy.
Isn't it also the same? Isn't that also the same Ben voice that he does for the in the altars, the minor
I didn't
gang?
watch it, so I could not
Oh,
confirm that for you.
Oh,
I mean, listen to it for like 5 minutes
I
when you
didn't even
can,
I
and
didn't
let me
finish
know.
the trailer either. Like I watched it for a couple of seconds and I got jump scared by Alex sounding American and had to go. It made me so uncomfortable I had to leave.
well,
I was like, oh
unfortunately,
no.
he is American sounding the whole game.
I mean, I'll
So
get used to
so
it,
if you have a problem with
but
that, you might have issues playing the
imagine
altars.
like I'm not joking you when I tried to watch the trailer the first time and like it played that very short clip right at the beginning and I was just like, hold on, rewind. Hold on, rewind.
Who is this
Is
guy?
he?
Gotta stop.
No,
Yeah.
I literally was like,
Is
is
he American?
American? Like I so I was like, this is gonna be an adjustment because I'm so used to
Yeah.
hearing like Alex, and I'm gonna have to hear some American like I do every day,
Yeah.
Dang.
I mean, on his streams, Nathan, I'm sure you'll. I mean, probably all too well. I mean, Alex has some amazing impersonations that you've got of like bits and stuff like that. What's the best Alex stream impersonation?
I think it's difficult to
What's one of the
to
What's
rate
one
them.
of the good ones?
Um,
What's one of them?
I've always enjoyed his Jack Sparrow, his Gandalf, brilliant. Picard is really good. There's so many you can do. Yeah. It's
I'm
incredible
partial
talent.
to the Emperor.
Yes. Yeah.
He hit me with a very funny like I've told this story before about at PAX when he offered to hold the tower for the weekend. And I said, "Oh, it's okay. If you don't want to, I have a hotel now. As in, I have a hotel room for the rest of the weekend." And he just immediately went, "Oh, a hotel, you say? You've really come up in the world." And I just remember thinking, like, "Oh my God, he got me. I've been Alexed." I was like, "Oh God,
You have been Alexed.
I got Alexed. That's crazy."
Cool. Nathan,
But yeah,
do
play
any
date
of-
everything.
Yes. Do any of these games excite you, interest you?
I'd like to play the altars. Yeah, it's probably next month is when my budget will allow to buy. But definitely, because I play so much RTS, it'd be nice to have something that's a story that I can follow. You know. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to that.
Excellent. So, date everything is not got a pull on you then.
Listen, I just think we should support Robbie, okay? Our beautiful, beautiful boy. Our Jaxie Flaxie, that's a Foxy Toxie. I'm mostly just excited about the project. That's literally just a bunch of voice actors having a good time. I think that's very fun. More than the
first
dating
place I
sim.
heard about Date Everything was on the Natural Six Discord. I'd never heard of it before. So
Yes.
Well, then the marketing, the indirect marketing is working.
yeah.
We're getting into people's brains. We're
getting
in
into
their
people's
walls. We're in the
Yes.
walls.
All right, let's move swiftly on. To doing lately. Let's start with our guest, Nathan. What have you been up to?
It's not a good place to start. Not a huge amount, unfortunately. I've been off work for 5.5 weeks now with being off sick, unfortunately. I am back tomorrow in the middle of a heat wave. That was really good planning. So I haven't been up to a huge amount. A lot of sitting in front of the computer, playing games, being well looked after by my better half. We've had a new bathroom. Does that count as things that have been going on? Yeah, there we go. So it's been helpful to be off because I was here while the plumber was here. So, yeah.
Do you dabble in the plumbing?
Oh gosh, no.
He knows his limits.
So no,
I don't do
no
DIY
DIY
at all. No.
Okay.
I'd prefer to pay someone to do it properly than do it wrong and then have to pay someone to fix it.
Good choice. Very good. What have you been playing then, games wise?
So I'm keeping it being like sort of old school. So back to Settlers 3. Used to play Settlers 3 a lot when I was younger. I've been playing Civ 6. You might have seen me on Discord today. I've been playing Civ 6 partially because I couldn't afford Civ 7 at the moment. Yeah, things like Anno. Been enjoying Anno. And then really old school like Zeus and Poseidon. I don't know if you've ever heard of Zeus and Poseidon. It's like a city builder sort of thing. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I like some Settlers. I played the original ones back in the day, but I haven't played. There's like 6 or 7 of them now, I think. Isn't there?
I think there's 7 numbered, and then they did a new one, didn't they? Which I believe Alex was in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I don't think it was well received. I don't know. It's I think people were expecting too much from it, maybe.
Okay.
I haven't looked up since it was released a while ago. But I'm sure he'd said maybe he's not in it. Oh goodness me, maybe he's not. But I'm sure he said he was.
Settlers' New Allies. Yeah.
It was who did it? Ubisoft.
Voice talent Alex Jordan. Yes.
There you go. Yeah.
It does not say what he actually voiced, but
No,
He's in
and
the
I don't
walls.
think he said much either.
so you are 100% correct. He was in the game. So Settlers.
He and
New-
Ben are
there
in
we
the
go.
walls.
Yeah. Cool. Shan, what have you been up to?
Well, other than putting on Action Surge in the background because I almost forgot so that they can get them sweet views. So, did I talk about finishing Expedition 33 on the last one? No spoilers, obviously, but I can't remember how long ago that was now.
I think you did.
I mean, it's 2
but
weeks ago.
You can say it
so-
again.
I beat Expedition. I mean, I'm still playing it.
Oh, no.
I've located the boy.
Has Simon been located?
Yeah, not good, man. I tried twice and I laughed the whole time because I knew I wasn't getting out of there. But also I was excited to like see everybody in their outfits in a cutscene because understandably, I haven't had a new cutscene in quite some time because I beat the game.
Yep.
So I got to see like Verso in the get up I have him in now in a cutscene. And I was just like, but yeah, he's quite a boy. I obviously I'm not going to say anything specific, but I did laugh like the entire time. I went back and did a couple other things. Like I fought some chromatics. I've been working in the Endless Tower, just kind of like trying to brute force my way through stuff. Getting used to leveling up, messing with my Pictos. An incredibly difficult merchant that I was so glad I beat it because I was like, this is ridiculous at this point. But yeah, like I'm still playing it because I'm still vibing with it too. And plus, like Doc had advised me not to pick up the altars until I finished everything I wanted to do in Expedition 33, which I think is great advice. But if I still can't beat Simon, I might have to have that be a side project. But I haven't started New Game Plus or anything because I was warned about difficulty scaling once you actually go into New Game Plus.
It's a pretty big jump, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just having my fun, doing what I want now, and then I'll actually replay some story, etc., etc. Like I said, I played Date Everything, like some of the demo for a little bit, because I forgot there was a demo, and my friend pointed out, and I was like, well, we're on a call, I'll play it. It's something easy. And listen, I'm saying all these, like I said, I don't know if I said this in the call, but I definitely said this while we were sitting here. The voice actors are chewing it up. They're having so much fun. Yeah, it's a game developed by voice actors for the voice actors. It's it's all around. The cast is insane. You can see like what I really like is when you go into the menu and you see the splash art. If you put your cursor over one of the characters on the splash art, it'll tell you who plays them. Like, it's very cool how, like, they want you to appreciate the people who are in this game as much as they did when they cast them. So it's, like, super, super fun. I definitely recognize some of the lady voices that I have heard, but I haven't gone into my data decks the data dex also tells you who plays each character, which is very cool. So I haven't gone to see, because there's like over 100 or at least 100, and so like, yeah, so it's a lot of boys, and it's so much fun. The character designs are really cute as well. Like, I unlocked the bed, and she has like this coat on that's a duvet. Like, it's very clearly a puffer duvet. Mm-hmm. She has like slippers that kind of look like pillows. Like, it's cute. Dorian has like an alarm code thing on his sleeve, and sometimes he has a fancy hat, and I'm like, where did the hat come from? Like, it's just fun. I'm in a magnifying glass, and her hat is like a magnifying glass that kind of sits like kind of crooked on her head, and she's the house detective. It's just really cute. Like, I think it's fun. I'm gonna play it because it's fun. I don't know, obviously I haven't met them all yet, so who would I want to date? But like, it's very cute and fun, as far as I know.
How many do you get to date?
There's 100 of them. I don't know how many you can date at once. So she straight up tells you at the beginning, there's 3 stages. You have love, friendship, and hate. So I don't know if I'm going to make somebody hate me. Like, I don't know. Like, I did make Dorian a little upset because, like, you get introduced to him, and I was like, I'm an agent of chaos. He was like, whoa. You're a what? And she was like, no, she's kidding. Please stop. And I was like, oh, he doesn't like my hee-hee-ha-has. He's a very serious door. He's a door. So, I don't know. It's fun so far. I didn't play a ton. I met my diary, and she sounds insane. I did appreciate. They play it as a feature in the game. Like, the girl's like, oh, this is a feature of me, the glasses, but it's like a feature in the game. Very early on, you can meet a character that has a trigger warning. Mm-hmm. And I'm listening to her. I'm like, what is the trigger warning? Because they said, like, I have a content aware feature. You can tell me if you don't want this kind of stuff, and you won't lose any points. You won't be penalized. It'll be as if you had the entire conversation, but you won't have to listen to it. Do you want me to do that? And I said, no, because I'm like, what are we talking about? And then she said something that I was like, oh, yeah, that's pretty bad. And like, I appreciate that the game has that built in as a mechanic, literal and like, meta, so that if you're worried that something could come up that could trigger you in this dating sim, you can avoid it and you will not be penalized for it. It will not affect how you play the game. You won't hear it. And that's kind of nice. That's the only character I've encountered that with, so I don't know how far that goes. But I was like, dang, okay, why did Dorian tell me to talk to the diary? That was not fun. So yeah. And then the last thing, like the last major thing that I did was I was in my first official D&D one-shot on Sunday.
Awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I did great. So like, as some people know, Sunday was Father's Day, and I expected.
Did you have fun, Shan?
I did have fun.
I don't care about whether you thought that. I do care whether you thought that you messed stuff up. Did you have fun?
No, I was quite proud of how I did. Excellent. And I did have fun. What I felt bad about, and nope, it didn't affect anybody. Nobody else felt bad. They understood my situation. I wasn't sure if I could do it until like 2 hours before, because I was asking my family, because it was Father's Day. It was our first Father's Day without our father. Are we doing something? Nobody could give me an answer. And I had messaged like my one sibling because I knew she would get mad. And I was like, hey man, I was invited to do something. Are we doing something? Because I won't say yes. No response. So 2 hours before, my mom was like, just go play Dungeons and Dragons. Just go. Because like I said D&D 5 times and she had no idea. And she goes, Dungeons and Dragons? And I was like, yes. So she was like, okay. Go play Dungeons and Dragons. So I literally had to do a pre-build character on D&D Beyond with help from people who were going to be in the game, and like Greg Spoons, who just popped in to help. Because I only had 2 hours to figure out what I wanted to do, what they needed, blah, blah, blah. So I felt a little bad that I wasn't super prepared, but it was fine because it was a one-shot, so nobody else was really concerned. And there was only like one thing majorly that I missed. And I told them just to forget it then, because like I wasn't going to like complicate things by bringing it in too late. There was only one thing where I had to correct something where I was like, wait, I misread. And they were like, no worries, it's not a problem at all. So like everything went fine. So I took notes so I could remember stuff. You can't see it because there we go. Because I didn't have time to come up with a name, it was Monoko, and she was a halfling druid. She was Circle of Stars, and that's where my one mistake was. I didn't finish reading, and I didn't see I was supposed to have a star map, but it was fine. I didn't need it. It was all good.
Look
and
up.
then
Easy.
What?
You just look up, see the stars. There they are.
Yup. It wasn't nighttime.
Oh no.
So I have my notes from the thing. We had a good time. I think the one thing that we really had a good time with was I summoned what was it? It was like something of insects. Cloud of insects. I forget what it was. And it was like it's just like a big 30-foot, I think it's 30-foot radius of locusts. And you get damage at the end of your turn if you're still in the locust. And if you get sent into the locust, you get damage as well. And we put the first bad guy in the locust, and he couldn't get out. He couldn't move because his movement was hindered by the locust. So he kept getting bug damage. But my absolute favorite was that our monk kicked one of the smaller guys into the locust, and the locust damage killed him. So it literally, the bugs killed the dog. It was hilarious. We were cracking up. At one point I did insane damage. At one point I did insane healing. I crit at one point. I rolled a natural 20 on a guiding bolt. I think it was guiding bolt.
Guiding bolt.
So that was really exciting. I did like 32 damage on that one. So like it was really fun. Like it was really goofy. That's how I came up with my question for the Ask Us Anything that I'm going to ask, which was like, I did my first D&D and we killed things with bugs. What do you think is the funniest, craziest way you've killed something in any of your games? Which I think will be a fun question because I've never been able to come up with a D&D question or a lore question or anything because in the nicest way possible, I am so uncurious and not about the story because it's improv. Anything can happen. So I like to just find out naturally as it goes. But D&D stuff I am curious about because I don't understand it. I can never talk about it. So finally having something I can use as a frame of reference to talk about stuff with is very fun and cool and exciting. So yeah, I do want to find out what is the funniest, craziest way they've killed something. It could even be a natural 6 if they want it to be. I don't care. I just think it would be a fun question. But yeah, so we said, I literally wrote in my notes, bugged to death. Because that's how we put it. It was bugged to death. And that's why I keep saying bugs every time it comes up. And that was a 5th level spell, so I couldn't cast it again. Because they were like, oh, can we get bugs against the second one? I was like, no, I used my level 5 spell slot. We're not going to bug again. But it was super fun. I had a good time. Like I said, the only thing I regret is that I didn't have more time to put thought and energy into the character that I had to use a character pre-build. That I only had 2 hours to figure it out. So I didn't really have a character. I just had me at that point with some skills and stuff. But I had fun, and now I have her saved if I ever want to use her for another game or build from her. And yeah, it was a good time. We had a good time. We accidentally killed the person with the answers. So we did have to be told what was going on at the end, but it was fine. It was fun.
Excellent.
Yeah, we had a successful chromatic orb, and we made a joke about that too.
Ooh, excellent. Harry, you've had your arm.
Oh, I'm
up
sorry.
for a
I was
question for some
looking
time.
at the wrong person on the video chat. I'm so sorry.
When you moved, I put my hand up in towards the end of day everything, and then you moved immediately on, and there's the realization in the camera in real time that I'm gonna have to hold this as long as possible.
Sorry. I was trying to be fast because I feel like I talk too much.
No, you're doing good. No,
Harry,
all I
don't
wanted
make
to
it
do.
awkward, buddy.
What's your question?
Ask your question.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Going back to everything real quick. You just said the glasses talks to you and tells you the thing.
Okay.
That are the glasses real as well? Can you date the glasses then? What the fuck?
Yes. Actually.
What the fudge?
So the glasses that allow you to flirt with all the objects in your home are also a sentient character
Oh
that you
my
can
god.
flirt with. I'm telling you, man, you can flirt with anything.
Awesome.
But
Okay,
yeah,
wow.
my last note is we did make a lot of like, oh, you went to the Ben Star School of D&D, because somebody said, well, I do it because it looks cool, and I was like, Ben Star School of D&D. But yeah,
Yeah.
we did have a successful chromatic orb, which was very funny. So that was
Excellent.
cool.
I, for one, welcome you to the world of D&D. Now you know
Thank
mechanics.
you.
Now you know how it all
Kind of,
works.
yeah, kind of.
Now you
I
can
wouldn't.
speak with unbridled confidence.
No.
Yes.
Slight confidence.
You can criticize Doug now because you've played a druid.
But I've played a druid for far less than Doug.
Did
I
you
played
use
it for
wild
3
shape?
hours. No.
Did you use a wild shape in any of your abilities? I don't know how stars works.
So it's not a wild you take on the form
Mhm.
of a constellation.
Lovely. Yes.
But I did not have the opportunity or wherewithal to do that. No.
Cool.
I did
Okay.
heal.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Excellent.
Stars druid, good for healing. Big healies. Good
Yeah.
job. Hooray.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yay.
Yep.
All right. Harry, the Perry,
Oh no.
Harry the Perry.
with cookies.
Right, okay, let's talk about this. So I got like absolutely rinsed by like everyone in the watch party last time, including Aoife.
We were
Aoife was there as well, huh?
It was
We were
nice
trying
that
to
she
help you.
stayed.
I mean, wait, was she trying to help me?
Everyone was trying to help you, man.
Well, no, everyone was trying to. No, but everyone had. There was no problem to start with, inherently. So there's no problem to start with. It's just the nature of reality, all right? So for those who don't know otherwise, I baked some cookies because last watch party I was like away from home still, and instead I did some baking at my mum and dad's house. So I baked a batch of cookies that I bake, and instead of the laundry thing that I usually do, the ironing, I was like, how many cookies have I baked? Because I follow this lovely recipe from Jane's Patisserie. It's brilliant. It's amazing. New York City style, not Boston, NYC, chocolate chip cookies.
I didn't know they had a style of cookies, but continue.
Well, apparently they do. I don't know. It's like fact check, I guess. Fact check. Shan, is this true?
I don't know. Chocolate chip cookies just tend to be unless I'll look it up while you're talking. You tell your story.
Yeah, you do that.
There was a fad with New York cookies, with them being large and people lining up and all this kind of stuff.
I will
Yes,
say I have had
definitely.
a cookie from a New York bakery, and it was
Yeah.
big, but it was also delicious.
It was, and these were big and these were delicious. It's a good recipe. Now the problem with the recipe is I've got all the right ingredients. However, when they want you, what they want is they want 150 grams of like milk choc chips and 150 grams of dark choc chips. Unfortunately, controversially, in across the UK, they only really sell them in about 100-gram packets. They don't sell them in 150 grams each. Controversial and scary because this means that if I wanted to get the full 150, I'd have to buy 2 packets, with 2 packets of each, meaning 4 packets, which would be a bit more expensive overall, and that means I just have 50 grams left over until I ended up, making like the next batch like a month down the road, which is just taking up space in my fridge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, thank you. So this is an example of a cookie. I assume, is this being shown on the screen?
It is being shown on the screen. This
yeah.
is a classic New York
like that
bakery. Yes.
Were you
So-
doing the small batch New York City chocolate chip cookies? Is that the recipe you were following?
Maybe it's by Jane's Patisserie.
I'm on her website, yeah. So I'm assuming
And
that's it.
so it's good, and I follow the rest of the recipe, and that's all good. It just means that I have a little bit less mass in the big bowl that I divide into the things. And because I want the nice proper size, they're good, meaty, good, big chunk of my hand kind of like style cookie. Unfortunately, I only get 7. I only get seven cookies out of that with the right distribution of everything. So I baked 7 cookies, and the answer to that poll was 7. One person got it correct, but this caused uproar in the chat. Everyone was like, "Why would I bake 7 cookies? Like it was a choice." And I'm just here to say I'm allowed to cook 7 cookies if I want to. And everyone was primarily, or why don't I just make a bigger batch if I just, doubled everything? I could, but I don't physically have a big enough bowl for it. Like, I don't have a big enough bowl for it. I don't have, like, the whizzy thing. Like you go and it just like, in the background.
But you
Yeah.
literally showed us the Wizzy thing, Harry.
That was my mum's whizzy thing.
Oh,
Okay.
I do not have that in Dundee.
He personally
unfortunately.
doesn't have one.
Well, this is a solvable problem. We'll solve this problem for you. Don't worry.
By the way, the cookies that she based this on, because I am reading it, is Levain Bakery. Those are the cookies my friend got me after my dad passed away. They are very good. My sister
really
loved
nice.
them, and I didn't know that, so she insisted on taking a package of the cookies that my friend sent me. They
They're
are
big.
very good.
Yeah,
they're very big, but
very
very
large.
not
Yeah.
crumble
Dude,
big,
it's so good.
thankfully, but they're very good.
Which is why I won't compromise on the recipe.
Mm-hmm.
I won't compromise on the recipe and just make smaller cookies. No, that compromises on the integrity of the thing. So that's
Right.
all I want to say on that front. I'm here to defend
Excellent.
myself on that.
Are you partial to a cookie, Nathan?
Yeah.
What kind of cookies
Sorry,
do you
it's
like?
just
What kind of
quite
cookie do
funny
you
there. Me, oh goodness me. Do you know what? Marks and Spencer do a nice, like, shortbread with chocolate chips. But over Easter they did a cookie with mini eggs, and they were amazing.
Ooh.
Yes, and this backs up me on my point because that was not English, but there was a sentence because M&S as well. When M&S do them, they put them. You know this, Nathan. How many cookies go in an M&S bag of the bakery? 5, an odd number.
Or 3.
So why is 7 controversial? I'm just telling you, everybody.
5 or
7 is
3,
allowed.
depending on the place. Yep.
Yes.
Or 3.
3. 5 or 3.
Okay. That's
M&S.
I've never seen 3 before. That is like you're being scammed. Unless it's like cheaper. It should be cheaper then.
They're cheaper. Yeah.
Good, great. Then you're good.
3-pack. 3-pack or 5-pack. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, that was the cooking adventure.
Very good.
Okay. I just wanted to defend myself.
Other than cooking adventures, Harry.
Other than cooking adventures, like like again, because of the cooking adventures, I've had to go into hiding elsewhere in location 2, as it were. In like the weirdest Airbnb ever, which is an Airbnb that I'm here in Kakubri in Dumfries and Galloway. Very nice countryside, highly recommend it. Lovely little village if you want to go out there. Because I'm doing like a fun little game development workshop with a bunch of young people for a charity. And for that, two fun facts. First fun fact is when you messaged me about this podcast originally, Doc, that was when I was first in Kakubri. So this whole thing kind of started
We've come
while
full
I
circle.
was kind of here full circle. But the second thing is when trying to get here, the leader of the charity, she booked the Airbnb for us. Or she booked like a little place to stay for us. And then the lady who had we booked in with forgot our booking and double booked us in with someone else. So that sucks. So that was a problem. And then the lady was like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry." So she managed to get this Airbnb, which I'm currently staying in, as the alternative. But this Airbnb is so weird. Like the Wi-Fi is hidden in the walls or something. It's good in this room and bad everywhere else. Like I can't open any of the windows. I can't figure anything out. The oven doesn't have any buttons on it. There's no dial to increase the temperature, and it's weird. I can't find anything, and you can't message the Airbnb guy because I'd have to message the leader of the charity to message the lady to message the guy who runs the Airbnb. Wild.
Critically,
So,
do they have a Wizzy thing though?
No, they
Wizzy
don't.
Thing.
No Wizzy thing.
Disaster.
No Wizzy thing. No mops. No nothing.
Disaster. And you have to be really careful, Harry, about disclosing too much about your location because remember, you are in witness protection from the cookie incident.
Yeah, and also, look, the reason why I'm saying it is because that way, people know to come to this location, and then by the time this goes out, I'll already be gone. I'll already be gone by that. And also, Kakubri does deserve some more footfall because seriously, it is quite lovely out here.
Excellent.
And yeah, immediately before that, this leads on to the next thing. the night before I was going, I asked my friend the forbidden question, which is like, hey, what's Epic the Musical about? Because I heard about it. Do you guys know what Epic the Musical is?
I
Nathan?
haven't listened to it, but I know what it is.
No?
No.
Oh,
No.
man. It's good. It's
Good.
like, it's I can't really describe it apart from it's good. It's like a Final Fantasy 14 musical, but sometimes there's Harry Styles tunes in it.
It's like the
Hmm.
story of the Odyssey
Yes.
told through a concept album musical, right? Like it's
Yes.
presented like a musical, but it's not
Hmm.
like an actual written musical.
Okay.
But I will say the guy who created it was seen with Lin-Manuel Miranda recently. So maybe it will be staged
Oh,
one day, but
oh
it's
my
something like Liddy
gosh.
loves it, so it's something that I've
Yeah.
been meaning to get into because I actually want to devote time listening to it because I have also heard it's really good.
Shan, I'm gonna
But
send you a
it's the
playlist
Odyssey. I
because
can
because
I have
what's
Spotify.
no. Here's the thing. What's cool about it?
Okay.
Because what I watched, how I watched it is, even though again it's just like concept one, what people have done, there's so many
Oh,
animatics
animatics. Yeah.
that basically turn the whole entire thing into a consistent animated movie. Like the
Mm-hmm.
community's just agreed on a style guide. They've just agreed that the characters just look like their actors.
Yeah.
Basically. And it's really cool. And honestly, it's I gotta say it's good.
Yeah, I've heard
So
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm entering my TikTok musical era there.
Excellent.
Um,
I love musicals, so you can talk to me about musicals. I'm seeing
yeah.
Sunset Boulevard in July.
Ooh,
So,
lovely.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Is there a good musical scene in Philly? Shan?
Mm,
Or do you have
I
to
mean,
travel?
well, the thing is, I can travel.
Hmm.
So I typically do because my best friend lives in New York, so a lot of time we'll go see a show together. But I have seen a lot of the touring shows here. The last one I saw was Hadestown, which was quite good, and I'd already seen it on Broadway, so it was interesting to kind of see how they adapt to not having a stage that is their own. I've thought about going to see a couple musicals there that don't run in Broadway anymore, like Beetlejuice is coming, so that could be fun because I do like what I watched they're called slime tutorials. They're bootlegs during COVID because you couldn't go see a show. So the only way if I wanted to get into shows was to go on YouTube and see if there were bootlegs. And like that was one I watched Hadestown and then ended up going to see it twice on Broadway and once in Philly. I watched Anastasia again because I'd seen Anastasia on stage. I watched Dear Evan Hansen. And like Beetlejuice, like I said, so I'd love to see Beetlejuice again. But yeah, we have a really good theater. It's a bunch of theaters. Like we have one of the oldest running theaters in the United States in the Walnut Street Theater. And like we have a great like the Academy Music is always very good. So they'll be spread out amongst these theaters depending on how big they're gonna be or whatnot. I just don't always like half the time I'm just going to see what's currently running on Broadway, but I'm usually open to seeing things in Philadelphia, especially because oftentimes touring shows are shows that aren't open anymore. So
Yeah, smaller are also usually cheaper. Yeah. You love in a musical, Nathan?
I haven't been in a long time to see a musical. I think what was the last one I would have seen was probably Wicked.
Hmm.
oh, nice.
Yeah. But we're not far from London,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, we just haven't been. I think the last thing we went to see was Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. This is
Oh,
more of
Ah.
more of a play, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, I mean you don't have to like pay to see Don't Cry for Me Argentina at the Palladium. You can just stand outside because they made the really cool choice to have Rachel Zegler perform Don't Cry for Me Argentina on the balcony to the people as opposed to in the theater for the people who paid. It's great
Wow.
stuff. It's very cool and people are very mad about it, but like I think it fits because she's singing to the people. It's the idea. But yeah, you could just go to West End, go to the Palladium around 9 o'clock, and you'll see Rachel Zegler singing "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina" on the balcony. It's great, and they have speakers outside, so you can hear it. It's really cool.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I dropped a dice.
Brilliant.
Harry, we'll try and do that when we're in London next.
Oh man, I wish I could go. We've already
Sure.
decided that if they transfer it, we're gonna go. So.
I don't know if they.
to Broadway.
Yep.
I don't know if they. I never saw Wicked, but like I know they made it into a movie, but like
Yeah.
also I will say though for me it was like classic musical for me is like the Matilda musical. It's great. I've seen it like I've seen that multiple times because it's very good.
Mhm.
Do they? Is it still on, or they must have
I
retired it by
don't
now?
know.
Pass.
Yeah, my niece went to see it in Cardiff this year. Was it this year? Maybe late last year. So it's
Yay!
still doing the
Still
rounds.
exists.
Yeah,
Heck
yeah.
yeah.
It's more likely
Very
to still
nice.
be running in the United Kingdom than it would be in like here, because it's like one of those quintessentially like that's a very British. Like yeah, we have the movie that's very popular over here, but like the musical is very much like more of the British persuasion than it is like anything else.
Yeah.
I quite liked it. I watched the movie. I quite liked it. The musical movie. Obviously, the original Matilda movie is one of my favorite movies, but like when they released the musical on Netflix, we also watched that, and it's quite good.
So it is running still in the West End, Cambridge Theatre.
Ooh.
There you go.
Fabulous.
So
Oh,
you can
great.
See it,
Hell yeah. I love it.
if you wish.
Have you seen
Cool.
Hamilton?
I've seen it on the Disney Plus.
On the Plus.
I mean, the
saw it
Disney
on
Plus
the
is a
Disney.
great way to see it.
Yeah.
If like, because it is a lot to watch as someone who's there. Because I did see it in 2015 with almost the entire original cast. It is a
Yeah.
lot to look at. So like the Disney Plus is a great way to watch it if you like. That might be too much for you. Obviously, I always recommend seeing it on the stage if you can. I know that's not like a feasible thing for everyone. So like Pro Shot, I'm a huge fan of Pro Shots. That's why I watch slime tutorials. Pro Shots gets people interested in your musical, and then they're more willing to pay to go see it in
Cool.
person. So yeah, it's a good Pro
That's
Shot.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I was
Sweet.
watching Hamilton. It's like, oh my god, are they gonna win? The
Are they going to win?
are they
Did
gonna
you
win
win,
against
son?
Moving swiftly on,
Yeah.
Harry.
Did you
Moving
win,
swiftly
son?
on. Yep.
Spoilers.
It is
Spoilers.
almost the 4th of July, everybody.
America. Yes.
Happy Independence Day.
Happy Boston.
I do watch Hamilton every 4th of July just because it's like, it's easy to put on. I've seen it
Yeah.
enough times.
Patriotic.
Anything
Good
else, Harry?
patriot. Yeah, I went to very quickly, just like, yeah, in terms of heat waves, I went to a holiday in Seville. It was like 40 degrees in Spain. Very nice. Very nice. Very narrow roads. Very narrow roads. Like, you know, shout out to the taxi drivers who were just like driving down the most narrow roads of all time. There's that. And the final thing I want to say is like, in terms of games that I'm playing, I'm still finishing Expedition 33. I've got to play like one more hour of it. Am I near Simon? Have I found him yet? Is she?
I
Is
wouldn't
he at the
recommend
top of
trying
the
to
thing?
find him yet.
Is he at the top
no.
of the thing that I'm doing?
No.
No.
What? Okay, fudge. Well, I don't know where Simon is.
He's
Oh
literally
well.
like, without spoiling you, the opposite of the direct. Like, you're going up, opposite.
He's in hell?
I mean, you could say that.
Of a sort.
Okay.
Of a sort.
Sure.
Yes. Um,
Okay,
excellent.
great.
You could say that.
Excellent.
I've been not doing that. Outside of that, because I've been helping my friend Eric, who is a game dev. He works on like really interesting RPG projects. I'm currently helping him playtest the final builds for his new game, which is called A Chamber of Stars. He's been working on it since 2019. Been following it in the background, which is very cool. And I don't know how to describe it, but I'll just, in a succinct way of giving you equivalent to it.
Single dev, Harry?
Single dev, one developer. One developer. He's done all the art, all the music, everything. It's a Unity surreal, like Hylix style indie RPG, crossed with Guitar Hero rhythm game segment, which, if you like Expedition 33's core like major story themes, David Bowie, Kate Bush, like blended in with a really interesting kind of Inside Out style thing with many asterisks attached, you'll really like it. So yeah, the only thing it doesn't have is it doesn't have Ben Starr in it. But if you can get past that, if you can pretend he's in it, yeah, A Chamber
We
of
were
Stars.
able to do it before.
Yeah,
I'm sure
that's
we
what I
could
say.
do it again.
There's
If you
Chamber
just-
of Stars.
Yeah, if you just
So,
thumb through some of the
which
screenshots here,
which
I
is
actually
it
just
now?
It's
downloaded
got
the demo
aesthetic.
because I forgot
which
to do
it's
it the
got
other day.
aesthetic. It's
It
so
does.
aesthetic. It's got the aesthetic of time. Holy fudge.
Very cool.
He's
Very
spent
cool.
a lot of work on this, and I'm playing through it. And I want to be honest, that I'm a very bits focused guy. Even in Expedition 33, I'm bitting. This game, like I got to a certain bit, it's like all bits are gone. I'm no longer bitting.
Mm-hmm.
This game's good. This game's friggin' good. Okay.
Wish list
Yeah.
now.
There's my shilling over.
Excellent.
And that's me done. That's
You
everything
all
I've
set?
done. What
All
about
right.
you, Doc?
What about me? Well, I've been very busy the last week or so. In particular over the weekend. Was at a swimming gala pretty much the whole weekend. I think it was 6-7 hours in the pool, which was good. My daughter was competing. I had some swimmers I was coaching as well. Much different age group, much older swimmers, which was cool. Here in a Liverpool metro region for swimming competitions, which was cool. Had a good Father's Day as well. Shoutouts to all the dads out there listening.
Happy Father's Day, dads.
Yep.
You better be good, dads. You have to earn that Happy Father's Day. Not you, Doc, but if anyone's listening here.
Thanks, Shan.
Yeah.
And otherwise, we talked about it a bit earlier, playing the altars. I'm currently in Act 3. So I probably will finish my first playthrough of the game here in the next, 2-3 days. Apparently you do have to play through the game multiple times in order to kind of experience the whole thing, which is kind of cool. Alex is fantastic in it. Playing literally every single one of the characters, basically, are the altars, and I didn't realize how significantly Doug's character actually features. So he is a pretty important sort of central character of the story. So both of them are front and center, actually, in it, which is quite cool. Enjoying the game quite a bit so far. I think the only thing that I have to say, maybe a couple negative things. I was very concerned after playing the demo a few months ago that it was going to be a bit janky. And maybe they moved to the locomotion system, Harry. I don't know. But that it was just going to be a little bit janky. Like the controls just kind of felt kind of floaty and whatever previously. But all that stuff's been tightened up. Technically, it's pretty good. Plays very nice on PC. But there's still a little bit of jank. In particular, as you get a little bit further into the game, some mistranslations, a few issues with the subtitles. I have hard locked my playthrough once so far and had to go back because I did something out of order and got kind of locked. But it's nice it saves at the end of every day, which gets to my real significant gripe with the game, which is that it only saves at the end of your day.
Oh, so it's kind of like it's like a worse version of Claire Obscure Expedition 33, which only saves when you change weapons or go to camp, and there's no like you can't control your saves like this. It only saves once.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Where Expedition 33, at least, you might like play 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes,
and it'll save. Yeah,
between points, right? Or as you say, Shan, like you go into combat and finish the combat and the game is saved, right?
Yep.
Like you're not at a save point per se, right? But the game's saved.
Games should all have like manual save.
So there is no such thing here. It only saves at the end of the day, which means if you're like me and you are often playing the game for shorter periods of time, it's quite. I've had multiple times now where I've left the game on for 10 hours. I probably got like 30 hours played in the game, and I probably played 6, just because I got like halfway through something, and I'm like, I don't want to have to do the last 45 minutes of this again.
Yeah.
So that has been a common gripe with the game, though, and that is out. I think on Twitter they made an announcement either today or yesterday saying, "Hey, we hear you. We will fix this."
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, technically good performance from Alex and Doug in particular, very good. There's some funny moments for sure in the game. Really makes you think about choices in your life, choices just kind of in general. What do they mean, etc. Which I'm sure will dovetail nicely with our discussion about episode 31.
I'm
of
looking
Natural
forward
Six.
to more games that make me just sit here and stare into space. Like Expedition 33 really took me out. I can't wait for the altars to take me out in a completely different way.
Yeah, so good. I finally got my posters framed, or at least sent them off to be framed. So I look forward to being able to show them off maybe next podcast episode, which is great. Sinners came out on digital, Shan, so I watched it again.
I love Sinners. Sinners is so good.
Uh,
I watched it again as well with my friend.
Yeah, watched it again. I would say the digital version is quite nicely, from a cinematography point of view, and some of the decisions they made about how to, if you care about that kind of stuff when you're watching a movie, it transitions nicely between the various different cinematographical, I guess, decisions that they made.
I did a little gasp when
when it
that's
grows,
the one scene started, because I saw it in IMAX. So like I was very curious to see how the aspect ratio change would be handled, and it is so exciting when you see that frame just start expanding. With the music playing too. It's so cool, so cool.
Yeah, so can recommend digital version. I saw it in IMAX here on the 239 by 1 version, I think, because there were like 3 different versions from IMAX. I'm not gonna turn this into a analyzing the Sinners.
Do watch the video though. There's a video that Kodak and Ryan Coogler did that's really fascinating, that teaches you about the difference in film, and it's very, very cool. 10 minutes. I highly recommend it. It's very
will tell you everything you need to know. You do not need me to paraphrase it.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think that's it. I'll be doing a pilgrimage to Dundee soon to see Harry, maybe with a mixing bowl.
Oh no.
Or maybe with a
I
wizard.
wish I could just hop on a train and go annoy everybody. But I'm stuck here on the other side of the ocean.
Like long train though. Probably gonna be a long train,
it's a long haul.
Yeah.
Long haul, Liverpool to Dundee. So yeah, I think that's it for me. Hopefully hopefully by the end of next episode I'll have finished the altars, at least one playthrough, and hopefully all of us, apart from Nathan here, who probably hasn't played Expedition 33, will get a chance. Hopefully we'll be able to schedule a Expedition 33 spoiler cast.
Yeah.
Promise I'll finish the game. I'll beat Simon in like my 1 or 2nd go. I'll do that.
I look forward to hearing about that.
Don't worry. You know my Verso build. He's fine. He'll be fine.
He's good.
My Verso 0 defense build.
All right.
Oh God.
Excellent. We are skipping over the art showcase here, because with all the craziness over the weekend, I have not asked anybody for permission to show their art today. But there has been lots of cool stuff. Always check out the art channel on the Discord. There's always good stuff there. And we'll talk about special art things and special people joining us next episode towards the end of today. So you'll have to wait to hear about that. I think it's that time, guys.
I think it's that time.
Spoilers.
It's time.
It's that time for episode 31.
Hit me with the spoliers.
The spoliers are out.
Oh boy. Okay.
And let's
Is it time?
Let's speed run the predictions, shall we?
Let's talk predictions. Yeah, let's talk predictions. Okay, predictions from last
Let's
podcast
talk
episode.
predictions.
Dirk, for episode 31,
You can
predicted.
just move. You can move past me entirely.
Yeah, more than 10. Okay, no, we got to go through it. More than 10 NPCs die and there's an attack roll on Nox.
I mean, neither of those.
This is
Mega
very
wrong.
cruel. This is very cruel, Harry, that you would put him through this.
We have to go through it. We have to go through it. I
mean,
did it for
neither
myself.
Of
I'll
those
do
things
it
were
for
true,
everyone.
so
Neither
not
of them
even
happened.
remotely true.
Bold, strong but wrong.
Yep.
Strong or
Harry,
wrong.
4-word title, which was indeed correct. I was
Finally.
going with a 3, then I was like, no, 4.
All right.
And that was good. I was happy about that. And then the other prediction I had was Nox is going to say something along the lines of your friends have all abandoned your friends all abandoned you, and I'm still here for you, and I've always been here for you. Which he just says. He says that. So he fucking says that. So god damn it, I win. I got it. What do you think? I mean, I got it basically because he does say that. Because I was waiting for it. He literally says that.
He said about half of that because
What do you mean?
He hasn't told her that her friends abandoned her. She
No,
thinks
he
they're
no.
still down there.
No. He literally does say that. That was the specific part of the quote that I know that he said. He says that actually surprisingly quite early on. Your friends have all abandoned you. He says that. He does say that. I know he does. I will get you a timestamp.
I just listened to it again. Did he really?
Yeah, he does. I know because I was listening out for it the whole time.
I don't like
I
if you're
promise
gaslighting
you.
me, Harry.
No. Honestly, I promise you, this is genuinely like on my honor. If I
Because
get
Harry
this wrong,
talked about in the action surge that she has no reason to believe she's been abandoned. He literally texted Dolly that, or Dolly texted Aoife that.
No. She said no. He said that Aoife would have no reason to know that they've escaped.
Right, but then why would he say your friends have abandoned you when they literally got arrested? They didn't
Because
leave.
Nox is a guilt-tripping guy. He's friggin' such a guy.
It just
I feel like we
logically
need to-
doesn't make sense.
This was a speed run of the questions. I feel like we.
No. I
he
know
was
this
tooting
happened.
his own horn, and I just
Here's
don't
what
know
I'm
if I
gonna just
believe
say.
you.
If you get the timestamp, you can say, I will be honest, I do not remember everything that everybody said over a week ago.
I remember this happening.
Great. Fantastic.
I will get this. If I'm wrong, I will unreservedly apologize next episode. Honestly.
We
Either
look forward
that
to it.
or Nathan takes my spot. Basically. That's what's going to happen. Those are the only two
loses his
things.
job.
No, you don't.
I am jobless, but I believe earnestly that I got this one correct because I remember it and I went, yes.
Let's move on.
Shan, 31 is the longest episode yet. Almost. So, almost close. Radian will warn someone about the cars/Abraxas Gracie incident. Yes.
In fact, he warned
He
multiple
super
people about
did.
He
it, yes.
told the whole team, minus Dolly, because she's not
apart
there.
the
all of
poisoned
Because she's not
mushroom
there.
will work its way back into the story.
It's a shame.
Not
Did it?
yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, I know. It really is a shame it didn't, isn't it? Punk.
I do wonder whether Aoife forgot that she had it.
It could
And
also be
then-
that she's trying to, she's worried about... We can talk about it in a minute.
We've got, and then finally, Andy's predictions. Parvus being in jail is used as a means to extract influence and power over Dolly.
Oh boy.
I mean, technically...
Technically, yes. But however, they will find the kobolds and enlist them to help save Parvus.
Nope.
Wow. Oof. Unfortunately for that one, gang. Feels bad for that one. Feels bad on that one, gang.
Yep.
But you know what? Hey, I think overall that was a pretty nice set of predictions overall. I like our spread. That was a good set of spread. And I just want to say, going into this, I will just say I have no fudging clue what I'm going to predict for this next episode for all the reasons which we're going to discuss probably imminently. So there you go. Prediction time. Not prediction time. Prediction time is over.
All right.
It's you time.
Firstly, the Aoife's dress was killer.
Yeah, it
in
was
this
very
episode.
nice. We actually got to see it because they didn't cut when people left. I was dying when you could see where the door was when everybody left. I was like, oh my god, we're seeing behind the curtain.
Behind the curtain. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Did you just retcon a bit, Nathan? Did you have a prediction for 31?
No, I didn't.
You didn't write anything in the spoiler chat or anything?
I didn't. No.
All right. Do you regularly make predictions?
No, I don't think
No?
I've made one yet, but I feel like I'm going to have to today, so I've written some things down. Yeah,
that is part of the game. Yep.
Absolutely.
It's
yeah.
the hardest part of this show for me
yeah.
is coming up with a prediction.
Yep. Right. I don't know where do we want to start with Shan being correct about all things?
Yeah, let's yeah, I think
Hold on, wait, let me get the Oscar. I'd like to thank Ben Starr for literally confirming every single thing I said in my argument the other day. Weeks after he actually needed to confirm them. So thank you, Ben. I say thank you a lot to Ben, but it's normally not because he's doing something that helps me out. So yeah, this is great. I'm so glad that in the long run I did win. So for those of you who don't know, who don't recall, I specifically said that Radian was A, buying time, B, intended to tell Dolly, and just like I kept saying after my argument, he hasn't really had an opportunity to, and that he was gonna find a way to use this. Ben literally hit every single argument. He did it to buy time, and the fact that Holly was also figured out what he was trying to say. You were buying time. He's like, yeah, I was buying time because I was gonna die. So that was the other thing. I said he was buying time because he was gonna die specifically. And then I said that he was gonna tell somebody, and he said he did actually was hoping to tell Dolly first, hey, I did this thing, because he knew it was bad and he knew she needed to know, but he was going to follow up with, I have a plan, which is the craziest thing Radian's ever said, let's be honest, because that man has never had a plan in his life. And then the third thing is that he was trying to come up with a plan. He came up with a plan, and it was to divert Erastus to either going after somebody else or going after Nox. And the intention was to go after Nox is what he's going for. Because he made a promise and he intended to keep that promise, and warning Dolly was part of that promise, because he was going to reiterate. And I really like that he said it very specifically. I was going to tell her, and Radian was going to promise that he was going to make sure she would be okay. And I was like, who was right? It was me. Which is very funny because he specifically danced around mentioning it in the last action surge because it was a full table action surge. So he couldn't say what happened every time and just had to play dumb. But yeah, that stuff was all crazy. And we discussed it after the episode. Radian's in big trouble with the team. But it's clear that he wants to make good on it, even though he knows that they all hate him. He does want to make good on it and prove that he wanted to keep his promise to Dolly, because at the end of the day, I think Dolly's the one he's the closest to and the one that he's more likely to smack down for anyway. So I think in his mind, he's just yeah, you guys can all be pissed with me. Understandable. I messed up. I mess up a lot, as long as Dolly forgives him. He does not care about anybody else doing it. And I think that's really funny, given everything that happened before their really sweet talk. And I also thought it was really funny that Harry talked about, because Harry had mentioned that he had to pull Ben aside without saying why. And Harry telling the full story of I was really upset. Why would you do that? And Ben having to be no, I have a plan. Because Harry was so deeply upset that they would make up. And then he went and told Erastus
and then he would
Dolly.
go and set the whole thing on fire.
Yeah, but
literally 5 minutes later.
But it turns out he had a reason, and it's that's the crazy thing to me. I know I said I kind of said that I didn't think he fully thought it through, but apparently ever since he did it, he started to formulate a plan, and that probably is why I know we talked about too he played a very big bodyguard persona when they showed up at Haven, and all like we joked about like whether he was doing it as a show because
Yeah.
he just betrayed Dolly, but no, he's doing it because I think he's trying to lay the groundwork of like, I still mean it.
Yeah. Well, you have to do that for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Because the thing that
They were being watched, so he kind of had to put on a little
they
show.
were being watched, and
Yeah.
there were I believe 2 or 3 weeks between episodes here. So Ben had lots of time to think about
Oh, yeah.
how he would potentially get out of, I don't
Get out of
think
his
any.
pickle.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us were necessarily arguing too much against you, Shan, in the sense of like Ben in the moment doesn't really.
Oh, I thought Ben was really kind of dumb in doing it. Like it was just like I hope he can I hope he has something going on because I thought that was dumb.
Yeah. So I don't think spontaneously in that moment. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this very nefarious thing, right? Like that. I don't think that
There were
was-
people who did though. That's the problem. There were absolutely people like Radiant is like. And I was like, guys, we don't know though. And he can't
there was
talk
no
about
oppor-
it because it's
there
a
was no
secret.
yeah, I mean, there was no opportunity for that, right?
No, absolutely not.
I think the thing that kind of on the whole thread that continues to concern me there is that, and Harry talked about this, right? In Action Surge, I believe, that there's a bit here of understanding the consequences of your actions, right? Like, of course, we had them be in the prison, end up, doing crazy stuff. Probably should have had at least one of the characters die. There's a bit of consequences for your actions, right? And Harry even says, right, hey, I remember this situation from another DM. Apologies, I do not remember the other DM's name.
It was Matt Colville, I believe.
Where there was a jailbreak and one of the other PCs gets assassinated, right? And I don't think Harry wanted to necessarily pull that here, but he did kind of indirectly. He's like, you guys need to understand that this isn't, each of you is not playing a single player RPG where you're the center of attention and no substantial bad things are going to happen because of your actions, right? And he made the decision, I think, here to have Parvis's death be a consequence of their actions, right? As opposed to, it would have been totally narratively correct in a sense for him to go, oh, well, you, Radiant, have said that Dolly did this. Well, Erastus just goes and kills Dolly. End of story, right? That would have been completely kind of in keeping. I don't think Harry would necessarily do that. That's probably not a great, from a narrative point of view, right? But that would be consistent with the behavior, right? And he chose to kind of remind them all that, yeah, there can be really negative consequences for your actions, right? So I hope that there's a little more skin in the game now for Ben in particular in the sort of like reckless way in which he plays the character, right? And I did think that you saw a lot more of that this episode, of him being a little more careful, right? And not just kind of YOLOing it, right? At every opportunity, or when somebody hasn't done something for 30 seconds, well, somebody needs to do something, right? Because there can be pretty dire consequences, right? To just being constantly reckless, right? So it was nice to have both of those. It was I think nice for Shan to be correct in Ben's panic in the moment, and for Radiant not to be some kind of evil mastermind, right?
And that he actually like feels bad, like they're laying into him, and he's like, "You're right." You're
I
right.
done messed up here. Yep.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm sorry, and I forget exactly what he said, but
he cannot fix it himself.
yeah,
Right? He has
needs
had
their
to
help.
ask others to help him in order to fix it. So
Yeah.
I'm really hoping this is a reminder. And he's not going to need another reminder, which might be
Yeah.
2 daggers in the back. But yeah. I don't know that is there any much more to say necessarily about that sort of revelation, Shan?
About in what sense? Because there's some cool stuff in the stuff, but
Yeah.
There's good
I
stuff
did
in
like
the actual like Erastus scene.
yeah,
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
Erastus stuff. I mean,
In terms of you being correct.
I was more in terms of Shan being correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
well, yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I was excited that I was right because, like, I don't know. It would have been really weird for him to like go back on all of that because Harry was right. That was like it felt like a really genuine moment,
Yep.
and like it seemed so strange that Radiant would on purpose. Like, and some people were like, well, no, maybe he just didn't mean it. And he wanted, I don't, Radiant's like, he's an idiot, but like, Dolly's like the one person who's almost considered, like, while they betrayed each other, whatever, all that stuff, she was still his first friend in the group. And so I don't think it's too outside the realm of possibility that they could work it out. And so I thought it was really wild that everyone just really, like, not everyone, but like a good chunk of people really wanted to believe that Radiant would like still want Dolly to die after that. And I was like, there's got to be more to it. Like, or not more, less to it, but more to it. And so I just thought it was really wild. Sometimes, like I said then, the easiest answer is sometimes the simplest. And the truest answer, and it was he was buying time to live, which is what I told everybody. I think like, he knew he wasn't going to survive, and Harry told the party too. Like there was another critter there, and when he tried to pull a card, that card did not help him. He was on his own, and he absolutely could have died in that situation. Ben saying too, like I don't know what would have happened if Radiant died there, and so I thought it would be better just to get out. Like it's just sometimes. It's not the character, it's the player, and the player was trying to get him out of there.
100%. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
in that moment, you're not always thinking, what would the character do in this situation? Right.
Like I got to get out of there. But
and that makes you do things that are potentially irrational. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
in this case, the Hanlon's razor, which is a favorite one. Harry, what's Hanlon's razor?
What the fudge is Hanlon's razor? Who is Hanlon?
I saw his face, and I knew he was going to ask you what it was.
Who is Hanlon? Because who the fudge? Can you give me a hint of who Hanlon is?
Hanlon is a philosopher.
Oh, like a philosophy guy. I mean,
Yep.
was he like?
Hanlon's razor is never attribute malice
Oh, to
to
what you can
that
attribute
which is
to
adequately explained by stupidity.
stupidity. Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
Which
I didn't know
Yeah.
Hanlon said
gets
that.
to
Good on him.
Shan's point of,
Mm.
is this guy really an evil mastermind who has been planning to like double the triple cross? Like we have no evidence to suggest that is
No.
the case, right?
We've got lots of evidence that Radiant.
And
We have a lot of
These people didn't live.
yeah, we have a lot of evidence that he's an idiot. But like the other thing is, and he had just been honest too about like with a couple of people about how like he just part of him wants to die, and it's like he finally makes up with like a friend and makes a promise to her that he's gonna protect her, and it's like, well, he can't do that if he's dead, can he?
Oh.
So it's like it's better to try and buy some time, and like maybe he didn't think about like if he had more time to think about it, maybe he would have given a different name. Maybe he would have. We don't know. And at least he was honest that like I just did what the easiest thing was.
Or done something different in that moment, right?
Yeah.
I look forward to hearing like 2-3 episodes from now where potentially in an action surge. So in an action surge 2-3 episodes from now, or a serving cantrip or whatever, where we get to kind of explore or discuss why Harry did what he did there. Like that's a very deliberate DM decision to take a character completely out of the whole party, right? Bring them on their own and then put them in combat right away. That's a very deliberate decision, right? So why he made that decision and what he thought were the options that Ben, or maybe he figured that Ben would be able to talk his way out of it. I don't know, right? But taking one character out of the party and basically isolating them, and then making them engage in combat with no choice. That's a very bold decision. Right. So it'll be interesting whether we get any more kind of background going forward, right, as to what Harry thought Ben would do, right, in that moment, because clearly he didn't think that Ben would say, "Oh yeah, it was Dolly."
He did not. You gotta zag on him,
right?
Yeah.
Clearly not. So, what was your take on the whole situation, Nathan?
Honestly, I'm not. Goodness me, I don't know how I can say anything that hasn't been said already. There's. I've been reading through spoiler chat. There's a lot and stuff. There's lots of people have said. It's hard sometimes to have your own opinion. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I still see him. I don't see him as an evil genius. But I know there's something evil about giving suddenly your best friend in the group's name to this person that wants. Do you know what I mean? There's something that's not right there. I almost feel like there isn't a plan, and he's just going on a whim. Everything happens. He's like, oh, well, if I do this, and then the next episode he's like, oh well, maybe I can just send the rest of the party in to parlay for me, and I'll sort it out while I'm out here. And he's just doing it. He doesn't actually have any idea what's going on. He's just every episode he's thinking, okay, well this might work. Okay, well this might work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the recklessness of it is it cannot. I think fundamentally it cannot continue. The recklessness of it, right? Either the recklessness is going to get him killed, or it's going to get another party member killed. And we've discussed at length on the podcast about the number of times in which Radian could have died, or or had his colleagues in the party die, right? So yeah, I think the recklessness cannot continue. And Harry's already done the warning, right? Hey guys, you leave a PC or you leave an NPC has been with your party alone in the prison, bad stuff might happen to them.
Yeah, that was a sad moment. Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah.
I always think it's quite interesting that, at least for me, when we first meet Parvis, he's sort of distant to I, isn't he? And my first reaction is, oh, I don't like this guy or this cobot. Do you know what I mean? And I wouldn't call him an enemy, but do you know what I mean? He's not trying to be the same as what he is. And then we get to this point in the story, and it's like, oh my word, I can't believe this person's you're almost attached to the character now. But the way that character has changed through the last few from the beginning basically to now, over 30 episodes, from a character where you're like, oh, I don't like this guy because he doesn't like the People's Princess, to, oh my word, I can't believe he's gone.
Yeah. I mean, should we actually move on and talk about Parvis 1 Kenobi? As I put, or as I had previously put, Parvis Yoda in it.
Parvis Yoda. Parvis 1 Kenobi, I think, is better.
Yeah, Parvis 1 Kenobi fits it all a bit better. Like, and they talk about the actual moment. We're just gonna hop around between everything. I think. This can be non-linear. We're just gonna hop around. I feel. Good lord. So it's gonna be the thing where we're sort of ask like, what do we remember of, like, because it was just a fudging fever trip for me, very much like a fever trip for me. The main things that like I had kind of noted down that I kind of found cool. I believe it was Nox who ended up giving, like, was it either Nox? Was it Nox who was like ended up twisting in the knife of like the "Your gods are dead" little bit, bringing that bit back, I think that was Nox who did it. Or was it? Or someone said your gods are
No.
dead, and I started
That was
kind of like
the head of the
backtracking.
Gloam, I think.
Yeah, okay, the head of the Gloam did. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because
Obviously, because
Nox
your gods are
doesn't
dead is the thing
actually
with
do the
the
dagger, right?
no, no, yeah. Well, yeah. Either way, from that Gloam guy, I really liked the inversion of the iconic "Your gods are dead,"
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing, like saying that directly to him, saying that directly to
Now all
everyone.
your gods are dead. Yeah.
Oh, that was super good, very good. Yeah, again, I do like. Again, I'm just like here being like, I like that the whole Parvus thing was completely avoidable. I like how this was completely
Yep.
avoidable. I'm a fan of consequences. I'm sorry Parvus had to die, especially since since 13 or since like 14, the main like quest has essentially been go get Parvus because he's the only one who will actually help us and know what to do. And now he's gone because everyone kept forgetting about him because everyone kind of forgot about him, which is really sad. Um, yeah, that's what I want to say. But it was a cool scene. Again, I think Harry did a really good job because again, going into like this episode, there was always there was always that bit of I was interested like if they were going to do something like this and if it was going to like hit because it felt like the circumstances by which they got separated by Parvus in the last episode's chaos like made me kind of feel like I don't know how I'm gonna end up like feeling about this or if it feels a bit kind of like feel a little bit frustrating to watch as a viewer because of how avoidable it is, but I think like just the way that this episode just went today I was just really happy about today's episode. This episode 31 like went in the whole scheme of everything. And like this was a good example of that. It was just a really like well performed, really good scene, and it really like it meant something because it was something that it was really cool that again it's Dolly who gets to see that, and meanwhile friggin' team like Radiant and the friggin' what are they called like the Russian nesting dolls, Team Radiant Russian nesting dolls over here. They don't know what the hell's going on. Like they
Radiant and
think
his
that
bag.
Yeah.
Radiant and his bag. They think they're breaking Parvus out. They're thinking they're breaking Parvus out. We're all here laughing in the background. I'm laughing in the background. Everyone else is
Yeah.
crying.
I didn't get a chance, and I didn't get a chance to actually
Mm,
look. I was going to try and do this before we came on today,
mm.
but I think it's over an hour and 10 minutes that Aoife is by herself
Yeah, he
in the
said it was a
episode.
very long time in the action search. I think he said about half. Is what he
Yeah.
said. Harry noted a number when
Yeah.
in action search.
So, yeah, there's oh boy. Yeah, there is
I think.
there are big
Mm,
time consequences to be realized here
I think
in
it's
32.
really sad because obviously you like it's a good example of again a character's arc going unfulfilled but it being like effective
Mhm.
because Parvus's whole thing of the potential that he could have potentially reconnected or have been able to face and confront themselves again but
Mm-hmm.
never got to do that is like inherently a very sad thing.
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know he did not like he deserved better in every way and just kept getting L's the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this one's a big rip to Parvus. Big rip to Parvus. We lost a
Big
big
rip to
one.
Parvis. Yeah.
It does feel though as that I should be able to kind of carry that narrative thing on his shoulder a little
Mm.
bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I's been fully Parvus pilled.
Yeah.
I's gotten Parvus pilled. This is gonna so it's gonna make a very interesting or you know, I've been predicting like I crash out like for a long time now. Or like more just
He
I just kind of
deserves
like
it. He deserves to crash out a little
he
bit.
deserves a little crash out. He deserves a
Yeah.
little mental health day. You know? I deserves a little mental health day.
Yeah,
He deserves to like swear a little bit at
I'm
something.
not sure whether he's going to get whether he'll get the mental health day before he gets the reality check though.
I
That's the
mean, you can do both.
yeah.
I want I to say a funny swear word, and I want him to swear at. I want him to swear at his own god. Do that. That would be funny.
Hmm.
Um. Yes, that's where my head is at. But yeah, what do you guys feel? Parvusing everything.
I mean, it just makes me kind of sad because like, and I'll go into like the first half of this statement later because it's not relevant to right now. But like, I was so busy sitting in the whole like Jesus allegory of it all, because of literally what they were saying right before and like forced drugging people who were already strung out and like you're so busy listening to like this horrific thing going on around you that when they bring out Parvis, it's kind of just like a record scratch moment because you're like, oh. And like what's even worse for Dolly too is that when he says bring him out, to her that could be any of the guys. That could be that could be Kelnis, that could be Radian. Like, and it obviously could have been Parvis too, but like she always forgets about Parvis. Like that was the whole gag. That's where that joke came from, was Dolly and Radian anyway. But like, you know, it's just kind of scary because like if you like obviously we all know they're not there, but for a moment you forget and you're just like, oh yeah, who could they be bringing up? And it's like, well, yeah, the only person who's left is Parvis, and conveniently it's the one that's least likely to control her as well. Like, not control her, but you know what I mean? Like, can be used to control her because she has more of a relationship with the other guys. But also it's going to be harder to do this trick because there's nobody left to do it to. But like it being Parvis is like, I don't know, it's kind of also perfect in a couple of ways because it's literally the most like we have one of the most powerful characters in the world right here. Kind of like being the rituals, the sacrifice here, the punishment sacrifice, and kind of seeing what's left of his power as well, like kind of like a bit of a wowee moment, that you couldn't really have gotten that from any of the player characters. No offense, all the player characters, but like it almost had to be Parvis. Like it's not even just a consequence; it almost had to be Parvis, because you can't. Dolly can be more influenced by the other people, but if you start with someone she's less influenced by, now she's scared of losing everybody else. Because if they'll kill Parvis, they'll kill anybody if she thinks they're still there. But if you start with the most powerful character there, the one that can influence the most like awe and shock, that's a better storytelling moment in my opinion. And so like it sucks, it's terrible, I missed most of it, but at the same time it's like it almost had to be Parvis. It just, as a story moment, it just makes more sense. But also it's like kind of you have this guy, this wannabe god killing the servant of another god. And it's like, narratively, it's just really satisfying, as upsetting as it is. I'm sorry, everybody. It's narratively satisfying, emotionally devastating.
Hotel Trivago.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you for understanding. Like I don't have like I just don't have a terribly ton of detailed stuff to say about it because like I forget why, but I had to run away from the show for a hot minute right before this, so I only caught the tail end. Something happened. No, you know what? My internet cut out. That's what it was. My internet died while we were all sitting here, and it finally came back up. Like I was able to access it for the tail end of his speech. And I tried to rewatch it today, but I was trying to get notes on other stuff because my notes were like really bad. I had a lot of stuff going on, I think, mentally that day. So I didn't get to that part yet. I literally stopped as Dolly is begging somebody to help him in my rewatch, and as like he started to, like when he accessed his powers. And he became really, really cool, because you know you gotta look, if you're gonna go out, you gotta look cool. But like as I think back to the narrative choice, because at least that I can speak to a little more confidently. Yeah, as much as I hate it, it's like as much as like it's obviously it's a consequence because Radiant got triggered and did something stupid. And I also, I forgot to mention that, I like that he apologized for that too and explained like, hey guys, I was messed up. Sorry about that. Anyway, because if you're going to apologize, at least explain why you did it. But yeah, so their mistake cost their friend their guide's life. And he may have given I like the confidence, like 'cause he said you'll find the words, and like that obviously is going to be more meaningful now that he's spoken his words, his truth. But like narratively as well, it's just really satisfying. Like, if you want to make this guy a threat, if you want to make him a god, he has to kill a god. And if he can't get one, kill an Antiqua. And now you can sick Erastus Gracie on him. Yeah. And now it's revenge. Now it's personal. Well, it's doubly personal.
Well, yeah,
it's like
it's doubly
triply personal.
The revenge arc. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I have any much more to say on it, on the Parvis moment, other than to pick up on two little things which I'll ask you guys about. Who did you think it was when... So, A, who did you think it was when Nox said bring him out? And the second is, did you think he would kill him?
Yes and yes. Oh, Parvis and yes. Sorry, I was very much just like...
Nathan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it had to have been Parvis because there was no one else there. I don't know whether the decision was Vigil's or Nox's to do the killing.
That's an interesting thought.
Shan?
Because the gloam is there. Well, I don't remember when I cut out. I think the only note I had for this moment, I'm not joking to you, ritual mushrooming, oh no, Parvis.
Oh no, Parvis.
So literally, oh no, Parvis. And so like, oh, and I when I went back, I also wrote down that terrifying moment when she was like, Nox, stop, and he looked and went, Vigil. That was horrifying. Anyway, I was like gagged. I like I said, you could almost convince yourself it could be somebody else, but it's also like it could only be Parvis. So it's like if you think for more than a second, it's like obviously it has to be Parvis. There's nobody else in this camp that would make sense to pull up it, because as far as we're aware, all these people are quite obedient.
Well, that,
like,
that we knew about.
Yeah, because like, she talked to all these people, and they're buying what Nox is selling for various reasons. So like if they had still been there, I think it would have been 50-50 Parvis or Radian, because Radian was the one that was or I even was a good choice, because that's what she was afraid it was going to be. But it couldn't be them because they're not there, so it had to be Parvis.
I didn't know at the time, so I don't know at the time whether it was just like my version of Harry's fever dream, but after Dolly had said, "Do you remember my mother's name?" I think.
Oh,
yes.
You thought.
I thought
I had a nickel for every time
I thought that he was going to bring out one of her family members that he had
somehow
there,
found,
right? And maybe
Willem de Winter, Willem Dafoe.
Oh my God, Willem de Winter.
Willem de Winter.
No, that's a good.
I thought he was going to bring somebody else out completely. I did not think that Harry would play that Parvis card so early,
so soon. Yeah,
right? Like I would have thought like this guy be on it. We all have our kind of theories that the reason why the next episode is long is it's a massive battle, and Mark's minis are going to be just absolutely fantastic and everything, right? Like that. That's my it's my early episode 32 kind of fever dream, right? But yeah, I was like, no, he's gonna wait until the last bit to bring out, to have Parvis on the leash, right?
So that the whole party could see it.
So that the whole party, or that he would use it as a bargaining chip
to stop the whole party,
to run away or whatever, right? Like if you let me run away, I'll give you Parvis back. Otherwise,
kind of like how Kel was like, "We'll burn your mushrooms if you don't," etc. Yeah.
So it's like, I'm going to use this bargaining chip, but so the fact that he used the bargaining chip essentially like almost instantly is
I do have some thoughts about
is
that,
really interesting.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, I was totally hit like the bus. Oh, he's bringing Parvis out. And then to have, and maybe Dolly just, or Aoife felt kind of powerless in that moment of like, you've just fully rested. You can walk over there, put your hand on him, cast Dimension Door, and be out of there. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't. I just, and
Well,
maybe in that
it could
moment,
also be because if she escaped with him, that puts the other party at risk.
The others in danger, right?
Yeah.
So, she has very much been trying to play the kind of, okay, well, I'm just playing the long game, right?
Mm-hmm.
To kind of gather as much information as possible. And she's done that a few times. Like, to have that, I don't know if we've got even in the notes here, to have that, this time it wasn't Ben naming random NPCs. I don't even remember the name of the guard.
It was like, I wrote, well, I don't know if I misheard the syllable amounts. I put Azrael. It was as something, as
I think
real as.
I think that might be 100% correct. Do you remember, Nathan?
Yeah.
No, sounds very familiar. So.
Yeah.
I just can't remember if it was like Azrael or Azrael.
Azrael.
But yeah. I think it's Azrael. I wrote Azrael, like a mix between like Azul and like what's the other word I was thinking of there? You know what I mean. But like yeah, so it's something to that nature. I think it's Azrael though.
So yeah, it's interesting. She's been trying to gather as much information as possible kind of throughout this whole thing.
Yeah, talking to all the people sitting at the tables and
Yep.
It also, like, to be fair, in that same vein, not to direct from Parvis, but it reminds me of like a note I took where she was talking to the one guy, because this bit I did get to rewatch, when she's talking to the one guy and she's trying to get him to explain to her, like, why are you here? Like, what do we get out of this? What's this? What's that? And there was a moment that, like, really I thought was really interesting for Dolly, because Dolly always comes off as so, like, not cold, but, like, she's a goal-minded, like,
she's
she doesn't really,
right?
Yeah, feelings are not really important right now. Like, it's nice to be nice sometimes, but, like, we have a job to do. So I was really kind of touched when she was talking to the guy and, she's asking like, well, why don't you just leave or whatever, or something like that. And he's like, well, I'm somebody here. And she's like, well, you're somebody anywhere. And I was like, I love when a character who comes off as like, I don't care about any of this, like the mask slips in a moment where like something is so deeply personal that you find out that hope, that like that core belief that things should matter, that you want something to matter, is still in there. And in that moment, like, of her saying like, well, you're somebody anywhere, I saw that in her, that little bit of hope that like you could get out of this cycle kind of thing. And I was like, there she is. That's the girl. Because I always find it so fascinating when like a character does that, when they put up that like this whole idea of like, none of that matters. I'm the most adult, like, I'm in charge of, this doesn't matter, emotions don't matter, whatever. But like in this moment, because she was made to feel like nothing, when somebody says I'm nothing in the real world because he's been manipulated by this person who hurt her, like the only thing she could think to say is like, no, you are somebody. You could be somebody out there. You could be somebody anywhere. It's just such a beautiful little thing. I also thought it was really funny that when he asked her if she was frightened, and she's like, oh yeah, always. And like, essentially he says that Nox will always protect you or whatever, which is essentially what Radiant said to her too. And I was like, that's crazy work. That's crazy work. Because Nox's protection is conditional.
I don't even know if it's conditional. I think it's completely false.
Control.
But, yeah.
It's control. Yeah. But
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, he'll keep her
Yeah.
safe insofar as she does exactly what he wants.
Sure.
As long as she can be a tool for him. But, like, obviously Dolly's not going to do that. So, like, we know it's not real in that aspect because we know Dolly would never let that happen.
As soon as she becomes unuseful, she becomes discarded, right?
Yeah, because to him, he thinks she can be manipulated. So that's why I say it's conditional. It's conditional from him. But like in the grand scheme of things, it's something is only conditional because it's not real. It can't be genuine if it's not given freely. If it's conditional, then you're not giving it. You just want something and you expect to get something back. Just like how he brought Parvis out to kill him because he wanted. See, I brought it back. I also think part of the interesting thing about doing it so early is kind of like a symbol to Dolly that he means it. Like, so yeah, it could be a convenient thing that Harry did to show consequences. It's narratively satisfying, blah, blah, blah. But another reason to do this so early is because now you're telling Dolly you're serious. Like, I know this seems like I'm just like, because obviously like she believes him when he says all this stuff, but now he's killed somebody. Now it's like real. Like there's no coming back from this. Like this guy is
accelerates the urgency.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And the fact that all these crazy cult people were just like, yeah, kill him was like, huh? You know? So yeah. And that Celandine didn't quite like that was also very interesting. Not quite a fan.
Yeah, that was
It's
one
falling
aspect I found really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like Celandine refusing to like not being able to do the killing, he you know got someone else to do instead. Again, if you're talking about just discarding people when they're not useful. Reflections.
Yeah.
The whole situation sucks. He's like really fascinating as a viewer. Sucks for the character. It's like, and also what a complicated thing to play in.
It sucks for the character. I think breaking the fourth wall on it a little bit. It's also got to be exhausting to play that kind of character, right?
Oh yeah, emotionally just
and
a lot.
Harry even said, I think, in the action stars, like that. This is the most evil, despicable human being I've ever played in D&D, right? And to have to kind of like constantly do that has to be, you're playing a character like that on a TV show. Like you do it for 2 minutes and it's next scene, right?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe
he did play quite a bastard in a.
Yeah.
In
the Last Kingdom,
yeah.
for sure. Yeah, I mean, and he's had a few of those types of characters, I think, in his career, right?
Yeah.
And he's said that he likes to. He is very good at playing that, and we've definitely seen that he's very good at doing that. But it's got to be exhausting.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think we would all like to think, and we've seen ample evidence of this. That's not Harry McIntyre in his day-to-day,
No,
right?
Probably not.
He's actually a very lovely man. So to have to put that mask on and kind of play through it for as much as he had is both impressive as far as the story is concerned, but also impressive from a professional point of view.
Yeah, I wrote a particular quote down that made me really mad, and I don't remember the thing. Not on, like he made me mad, not Harry McIntyre, obviously. And I didn't write down the thing that led to it, but they were having their back and forth. And I know I also wrote down I won't stand on top of anyone to get peace, but they were having their back and forth after all this. And how he kept tying her to his dreams because that's all she is like an accessory to what he wants. And the part that really got me is when she's saying, like I said, I don't remember exactly what she said, but she's essentially like saying facts about him and what he's doing. And he says to her, let's play your game. It's not a game. It's like, and that's the thing. Abusers will do that. They're like, okay, that's your game then. That's your perspective. Let's pretend that that's what's happening here. And so when he did that, I was like, oh, I want him dead right now. I was like, and like, I already wanted him dead. Let's be very clear. Like, we don't stand for abusers. But I absolutely, like, that line in particular was just like, that's mask off. Like, he's sitting here saying, like, all right, let's play your game. It's not game. It's because he refuses, like, it's his world. So his perspective, his view, that's the truth. Even if, like, because he makes his own truth. And it's like, oh, I hated that. It made me so mad. I just wanted to punch him in the face. Like, well and truly, that made me really mad. Like, I definitely was like, it looks like we're going to have to kill this guy, Dolly de Winter. Because that was like, after all he did.
He's a despicable character.
He is scum.
Without any shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's all about him. It's always been about him. And people like that are really good at making people who don't have great personal self-esteem feel powerful, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be really interesting now, I think, about what the fall is. We've seen a bit of the rise of this individual. We've seen, I feel like we've kind of seen him at the height of his power. It's going to be really, I hope it'll be really, really satisfying for us to watch the fall, right? Because he has a long way to fall, and boy, do I hope there are lots of jagged edges for him to hit on the way down.
I hope Erastus literally chews on him. Like,
So
I want him to literally gnaw on him. He deserves it.
I think Harry has said that we will there will be no body horror.
Well,
in
no.
the
I
world,
mean, like,
but,
like, it's not like that. It's more like a, like, you know, I want him to, because obviously, like, they've given the final hit to Erastus. I want it to hurt. I just want it to be so agonizing. I want him to suffer.
I want it to
this
be
is not
full
a-
Hitman. It
this
should
is
be
not
like full
a
Hitman.
Yeah.
this is not an Alex Jordan oh, the arrow.
Yeah.
And everyone's head turns.
Everyone's head
right?
turns.
Yeah. And then it's swiftly over. No, we want the slow, painful death here. Yeah.
You should just drop a chandelier on him, like in Hitman.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Push him off the big balcony. Boom, accident kill. Silent assassin.
Anything else, Nathan, that you want to get off your chest about 31 here?
The only thing I can think of is, obviously Dolly doesn't know what's going on, right? So what if
Yeah.
she gets rid of Nox before they've had a chance to get in with Radiant? Is it then a battle of the team against Erastus? Can that happen?
I
And
don't
then-
see a reason why that couldn't happen.
Exactly.
And
Anything
then
can happen.
My other thing is Erastus was a 2, right, on the card, but we've never really described how his hits would work. Can he only hit a 2? So in that case, do the team have to get Nox down to 2 HP or less without killing him before Erastus can take the kill?
They just have to get him down and then healing.
But they obviously don't know his
then
HP.
healing word him.
Well,
Yeah.
Easy.
if of the mechanics that we know, we know a little bit about his mechanics, or at least with inside the deck, right? With the battle with Radiant. And that was definitely not a hitting for 2, as
That's
you
true.
can recall.
Yes, yeah.
Now, are his powers different when he's outside the deck? Or when he's been called?
Yeah.
It's unclear at this point what that will be. How are they going to call? What is Radiant going to do? What will the entry be? Is Radiant just going to waltz in and go, hey, I don't know where everybody else is. You got me. And then Trojan horse the thing? I don't know. Like, there's obviously lots of stuff that could happen there, but mechanically, I don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't think anything at the moment has been like the NPC that's pulled from the deck can only roll what the number is on the card. I don't think that has been like an established, this is the way that the card works. So yeah, presumably, do they have to get him down low? So Erastus just going to be ultra powerful and the whole rest of the party has to deal with everybody else? I mean, obviously we could probably sit here for 2 hours and speculate
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
a bunch of potential options there, but yeah, and especially bad given that, and I would assume that Harry did this on purpose. Dolly has said repeatedly that she wants to have the final blow. So
very nefarious of him to make that the condition.
It's just like on a meta level, and also just considering again, shout out to all the statisticians and all that. Incredibly meta that Dolly has to get kill stolen in order to save her own life. It's so fudgy.
Well,
I
and
just
that's
love it. It's so good.
Ben had said something interesting to that effect too in the action surge, where he was like, he thought it was like really narratively satisfying that this all started because Radian died, and then Dolly saved him, and now they're using this to save Dolly.
Yeah.
Like, it's just kind of crazy. It's kind of bonkers.
It's going to be such a fun viewing experience because it's like the thing that I love about the pacing of this episode is that it creates this really fun, like this episode and the next episode, the audience being the what's it called, dramatic irony is in like full effect, and it's like really hard to make that be impactful in like an actual play. This is fully a case where it's like, dramatic irony is in full effect. Sorry,
She was taking her sweet time, and that's why I was making that face. I was waiting for her to just jump. She was taking her sweet time.
Because we see, Dolly needs to, like, we're wanting to make sure Dolly be like, Dolly, no, wait for everyone. Versus, everyone, that whole aspect of the plan. Meanwhile, everyone else is going in there being like, how are we going to save Parvus gang?
And
it's like there's so much fun stuff. You just know the powder keg's gonna kick off, and I can't wait for that powder keg. I can't wait for it to kick off.
And Radiant gave her a way to kill him. Like, Radiant doesn't even know the condition either. He doesn't know because only the team knows, because they were the ones that did the negotiating. So like, he doesn't know. He gave Dolly poison to kill Nox. He's bringing another guy, a third guy, who wants to kill Nox. And it's like, oh man, there's so many moving pieces here.
This could go incredibly well or horribly wrong.
Yeah.
What's so much fun
in all sorts of different ways. Yeah.
What's so much fun about this is that it comes back just to generally the phrase of Erastus Gracie, that Erastus Gracie must be satisfied. And this is the thing about who's going, like, someone gets to be satisfied with their kill, and the other person doesn't get to be satisfied. And that's really fun playing on that, and I love that. Also, we forgot about the big deck energy. What was in that big lore energy? Big deck lore.
There was so much cool lore, yes.
Yeah, should we just quickly bash through that as well?
I think
we should bash through that, and then probably we'll move on.
I think we have actually covered it.
Yeah, move on to predictions and thoughts for 32.
So all of the deck of many friends are from Sentiasa during like the whole Wari thing. There's like the idea that the Antiqua kind of replaced them, like they were, the whole idea was, we believe, okay, the gods were the original beings, and then, they like created people. But apparently there may or may not have been people around around that same time as well, question marks, which is like, the heck are the gods, question mark.
This is the whole thing is very, I mean, there's always been an uncanny valley element of this stuff anyway, but it is very much everything you've been told is a lie, right?
Yeah.
And boy, does that make Elwyn happy. Miss Miss, like, these guys are all terrible, and they were never our friends to begin with, and we should stop worshiping them. It's gonna be really, and it opens that whole kind of Pandora's box for, like, why does Radiant have these?
Yeah.
Why? Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Why?
we
why
have
do you
different
the...
theories as
we've
to
got
why.
lots of theories as to why, but like
He still hasn't told them what he saw in the tunnels.
Yeah.
the people that look like him, right?
Yeah, that he could be of
The
the
wild.
Feywild. Yeah.
Thing is,
Hasn't
Harry
said
has
a thing.
also used these Erastus transitions, and unfortunately, Ben just rolls so poorly regularly. I want to take
he
his.
does.
I want to take
Yeah.
his. I want to take his.
I love
dice.
that they made fun of him for it. He either rolls really well or really bad. There's never an in
I
between.
want to
It
take
keeps rolling
his
in the
dice
tower.
and check them.
He keeps
and
rolling
see
in the
whether
tower is the problem. That's the problem. He keeps using it.
and
Keeps
check
using
them
the
to
damn
see whether
tower.
they're whether he has negatively cooked them. But Harry's used this as an opportunity to, like, introduce him or kind of do a bit of a memory sequence with a bunch of these characters.
Yeah,
and,
this
et
one
cetera,
was fascinating. This one was
where
intriguing.
he's like, you don't have any of the scars, et cetera, right?
This time he had a boyfriend, girlfriend. He had a person.
Yes,
Interesting.
he had a them
He actually had game somewhere.
somewhere.
Oh
at
my
some
god,
time.
that was this episode?
Yes, where he like he
Holy
said
bud.
that you were laying with someone and they were
On
like
their
pressed up
shoulder.
against you holding
Yeah.
hands.
Oh my god, because
Yeah.
I remember everyone posting in the chat
There's a
being like,
version
no
of
way
Radiant that
Radiant
had
got them.
game.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. What
Yeah.
a shock.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I hope that some of that kind of stuff can unravel and we don't have to wait until, like, episode 90 to find out. But
I mean, next would be a great way to find out after all this, because there's a lot of like deck lore dropping and things like that.
Yep.
Eventually, you're going to have to start confronting Radiant's mysteries because we've slowly been going through everyone else's, and we've got
Definitely.
none of his. So
Definitely.
except for like he's gotten some of his, but nobody else has been confronted with his mysteries
bits
except
and
Dolly.
pieces, right?
Yeah, so like I think they need to start confronting the team with his mysteries so that he is forced to confront his mysteries.
I mean, I have said probably since maybe even before the watch parties, or like the first or second watch party, right? Of guys, like, why don't you all collectively try and inspect the deck? You do it individually, but why don't you collectively try and do it, right?
Yeah.
Help each other, help with the rolls, but etc. And they've never really done that, right? Or do it when you're not at like 3 HP, right? After like days of battling, right?
Yeah.
And they've just never really done that, right? Or have have Kelnus do it. Have somebody help him. He's the one who's got the high wisdom rolls. You know that's kind of consequently what's there, and they've just never done that, right?
Yeah.
So they've very much just kind of like waited for Radiant's story to kind of like rise to the surface of the lake,
Explode.
rather than being like, hey, Radiant, let's force this a little bit, right? So maybe they do that here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sorry, the cat that was chewing wires was under my desk, so I was trying to get him out.
The one that's on the desk is not the wire chewer.
Oh no, she's perfect and could never do anything wrong. Him, on the other hand, get out from under there. Haven't you done enough damage? So.
Do you have animals, Nathan?
No, I'm allergic to cats, so my wife would love us to have cats, but I wouldn't be able to see, or I'd be sneezing all day, so we can't have them.
Yeah.
And no dog either.
No. So my mum wasn't into pets, and it's just Let's just carry on. We had goldfish. My sister had goldfish. That was as far as it went.
Mhm.
Excellent.
Trying to see now that I've gotten him distracted. I'm trying to. Hey! Oh, he just attacked me.
Oh.
I was petting you.
Speaking of attacking people,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
like the last thing, the funniest thing about the end of the thing, because that was sure one hell of an episode. Afterwards, DM Harry came in at the end of the call, and just so we could make sure we could all make it very clear and tell him that he's evil.
Yeah, he came in. He was like, "Okay, guys, time to be mean to me." Good.
Yeah, you're evil. So
Yes, I
that
believe
was
he
very
was
nice of him to come
evil.
in.
I believe he was summoned by Mark,
He
actually.
was summoned by
Um,
Mark. Thank you, Mark, for summoning him. Because we
Yeah.
did need to tell him that he was evil, and we love him for it.
He was doing a great job of being evil. Yes.
Dude, great job being evil.
Yeah.
Shan is directing.
Sorry, he was chewing a wire. I saw him. Yeah, so I thought all of the Erastus reveals were really cool. I liked Harry telling us what he and Andy discussed, finally, giving us some Erastus information, because he hasn't really been able to yet. How he has previously sought ways to extend his life. This became his advantage. He experimented with death, which allowed him to have more consciousness and control in the deck, and he's the only character who can do this. And I really loved how he was like, you literally wronged the only person you should not wrong in this deck, because he's one of the only characters who can like do anything outside the deck, which I thought was very funny. But I also loved listening to everyone talk about their theories, like Alex and Holly and Doug all talking about their theories about like what this could mean, like a human army that actually existed, and like it's just so fascinating to hear like theirs. And I really loved Harry being like, oh, I can't wait for you guys to all be able to listen to this back. Like, okay, you tease, but
Listen
like
it back, yeah.
yeah, it's just so cool. And I love that he also admitted he was trying to end the session, and Doug started talking. He was like, oh, never mind. Okay. So we wouldn't have gotten that lore if Harry had succeeded. We would have had to wait, and we might not have gotten the same answers,
Yeah,
but
it
thankfully
would
they're
have
curious.
stopped at a different point, right?
Yeah, that whole bit had me laughing, because I also loved, like, I can't say the direct quote, because there's a curse word in it, but how they managed to convince Erastus to work with them was by saying, like, you hate gods. Because he said, like, by all rights, they shouldn't have been able to convince him to do anything.
Yeah.
But because they said you could kill a new god, it worked perfectly, because it hadn't occurred to me that he hates the gods. But of course he does. So, like, they presented Harry with an argument so incredibly keyed to this character, that he had to give them a chance. Like, he lowered the AC so that they could have a better chance, because it was just such a good angle to come at that he could not deny them. And I think that's so cool.
He took a DC 25 skill check and made it a DC 15.
Yeah, because they were so good.
Yep.
And like, yeah, it is. I mean, it's so great how they managed to do that. And Ben had also said he didn't know he was going to ask them to do that, to do the convincing for him. And the fact that he trusted them, like he knew they'd figure it out, even if he couldn't, was really like, I mean, that shows Radiant does trust people, which is nice. But that they actually managed to find the perfect way to argue this man onto their side. Like, yeah. It's insanely good.
Alex came up big on that one.
Yeah.
With that line of thinking.
Good stuff, gang.
Cool. Anything else, guys, on episode 31? Last word from Nathan.
Yeah.
What about episode 31? I just thought, so, I mean, they all did brilliantly, but how Harry keeps composure after he's done something and then goes to the other group, I thought that was incredible. I just don't know how, I'm struggling with my words here, and I'm just saying what I'm thinking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got all this going on, and he keeps himself right on it. And I thought it was really it was interesting to see. It was Aoife's reaction to the Parvis thing. Like it actually meant something to her, like personally. Do you know what I mean? She's as far as I'm aware, she's not like an actor trained like the rest.
Oh
Like,
no, definitely not.
Do you know what I mean? But it was
Yeah.
like full on like watery eyes. Like, hold on a second, this is real. So
Yeah.
yeah. Props to everyone, but particularly those two.
And props to her for like when Parvis came up at the table when they were all sitting there and Harry just like, we're used to Harry playing it off, but like I watched her face when they were all like, yeah, Parvis. She's just like, incredible
smiling
poker
grin.
face.
Yeah, I know something
just
you
like
don't
Ben,
know.
just like Ben with the card. When they were like, oh, we thought you'd pull a card. He was like, oh yeah, I didn't feel like pulling a card today. It was like the same energy.
Yep.
So good.
No, we discussed it last episode for sure, Nathan, about like Aoife killed it already last episode already, and to kind of bring that forward here and to be alone at the table for so long, to be doing that for that's real skill there.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
For sure.
Queen
Cool.
of my heart, always. Aoife, High Priestess of Ireland.
32.
Oh boy.
That's the number, yeah.
How
Our
do you
next-
predict anything Radiant does?
I don't know.
Well,
Our next episode will be in 7 days. We are filming this on Tuesday, the 17th of June. The next episode will be the 24th. Followed by the cantrip on the 26th.
Which I still don't think I can make. I'll never make one of those Johns.
I'll have to see what my schedule is like actually for next Tuesday.
Let me know. I should be here.
Predictions.
Predictions.
Harry, you've already written down your prediction. Would you like to
I've written
share
it down
with the class?
just because otherwise I'd end up forgetting it because I'm completely exhausted. So because literally anything can happen, I'm gonna do a two-pronged prediction. First of all, mini side prediction. Am I gonna go bold and say a one-word title? I don't know if it can happen.
One-word title. I don't know that there's ever been a one-word title.
What would there has been? There's been Oathbreaker.
Ascension
Oh,
would be a great title for
Ascension would
this
be a
one.
great title. No, I'm going full in for this one. Shan, can I steal that one? Can I steal that?
You can have it.
Thank you.
I'm
gonna
very
make
nice
a
right
bold
now because I
prediction.
cannot think of a prediction,
I
but
thought
I've
maybe
also
to be a
been
winning.
three-word title.
Title.
Die. Yeah, no. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
episode's title is gonna be one word: Ascension.
Okay.
Okay. My second main prediction is that my main prediction is there's gonna be PC death. There's gonna be PC death. It's probably fixable via Kelnis's Revivify. I'm actually gonna put probably fixable via Kelnis's Revivify, but it looks bad, gang. And again, that probably is in there in case I need to start. It's greasing up the pan with some oil. But yeah, I think there's going to be PC death. I think someone's going to die. If I had to make a guess, probably Radiant. Well,
I mean, that's a pretty good guess, to be honest.
It's a pretty
He
good
said
guess.
he's stupid and he's not good at. I also like Ben saying like he's not good at anything.
No,
He's-
out there pick,
he's
and I don't
squishy,
mean anything
he's not
like
good
this.
at anything.
I don't
He
mean
can't-
anything by this, but that's
No,
because I want to now go
most
by an
likely
out
to
there
die.
pick. What if I think we've never Elowen's never rolled death saves before, has she? She's never gone fully down. She's gone down, but I don't actually think she's done
I
death
don't
saves.
know if.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction.
Think so.
I don't know
I remember
if
Dolly,
Ellen's rolled any death
Radiant.
saves.
I'm
Yeah, Dolly
adding
and Radiant are the only two that
You'd
come
have
to
to
mind.
look at Kenneth's beautiful sheets to see.
I'm also
Yeah.
adding Elowen goes down to my prediction.
Elwyn goes down.
Elowen gets down.
Okay.
I just feel it's gonna happen. Sorry,
Alright.
Holly.
All
I
right.
can't think of anything.
You can't think of anything, Shan. Nathan, have you got some
I'm still
thoughts on
thinking.
what might happen in 32?
So I did, and they're kind of similar to what's already been said.
Oh no. You can remove one of mine. I can
No, it's
steal
fine.
it.
I
Sorry.
wasn't going to go with the one with title or anything. I think it's probably safe to say longest episode thus far, given what's been said by Aoife in the last episode. Maybe it'd be the longest episode ever. Can you imagine? Because if it's gonna hit the 5-hour mark, it might have to be.
Yep.
I don't know if you could go much longer than that.
It'd be hard. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say three characters downed.
Oh, that's
characters
awesome.
Yeah.
This is what we
Not
like to see.
Not necessarily all at the same time, but within that episode, three will go down.
Can we clarify? I want to clarify the word characters real quick.
Oh, playable characters.
Oh, player characters. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yes.
PCs. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
3 players.
And my only other thought was I just had a thought that maybe this is going to be an absolute storm of roles this episode for Radiant and Samuel Towers. They're just going to really hit it off this episode, and everything he wants to do will actually happen for the first time.
All right.
Ooh.
He'll finally be cool.
Yeah.
Finally
Okay.
cool.
Ben
And he'll tell everyone how cool
Yeah.
he
the
was.
tower. Ben
Yeah, 'cause
and
this is
Samuel.
The Ben
Raphael
Star
Towers.
School of D&D. You guys just do what looks cool.
Yeah.
YOLO.
Or have a
Fast
panic
as fuck.
attack. It's one or the other.
Yeah.
YOLO. All right. Here's my spicy prediction.
Okay.
Right, Doc.
Radiant is gonna get the final blow on Nox.
Oh, you think he's
Oh,
gonna
man.
kill steal from the god, and then who's kill stealing from
He's
Dolly?
gonna get the final blow, and it's gonna be with chromatic orb.
Oh, he finally gets it.
Dude, imagine that happens, and then like everything that's been said in this podcast, like the entire plan goes wrong because Radiant accidentally kills Steels.
He really wanted to kill. He straight up said, like, "I'll kill him if you want." To Dolly, like he's down. He's ready to kill this guy for Dolly de Winter.
I don't think anyone
But
would be able
like
to actually.
if he waltzes in there with all of them in the deck,
Yeah.
and he has no time, and they have no time to say
Yeah.
what the conditions are.
Yep. Mhm.
Yep.
Mm,
Chromatic orb,
Yeah.
man.
I
gonna
love
happen.
that.
Which
I love that.
dovetails very nicely with Nathan's prediction for the tower. You know,
Some beautiful
roll in
predictions.
the tower like a 19 on the die. Chromatic orb hits, or maybe if it's even a crit against somebody else and it bounces to Nox and kills him.
I
Right.
mean, who will cry, right? Who will shed tears for that man? Nobody.
Is that your prediction? Oh. Is that your
no,
prediction?
it's not my prediction.
Is that your prediction that you're going to cry?
No. Well,
Oh.
you never know.
How many people in the
did
watch
like that
party are
they
gonna
joked.
cry?
I did like that they joked about the fight at Rock Justice and how like the whole table cried, and I was like the whole table and the watch party because
And
I
the
was
watch party.
sobbing.
Oh man.
I was like,
Yeah.
my head was down because Ben came in. I was like, I'm not doing this. My head was
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
That was rough.
That was a rough one. That was.
No,
that
I
was
think there will
tough.
be, if there's any tears in this episode, it'll be tears of joy.
Unless a player goes down, and then maybe Dolly could.
Then maybe not.
Tears of joy from me because I'm going.
Yeah, because he will have won, and we cannot allow Harry to win. We as a society.
Me when Elowen needs to be revivified by Kelnis. Yes.
Oh
All
my
right, so
goodness.
here's
Okay.
something for you to chew on.
Okay.
I'm giving you even more time here, Shan.
Yeah.
Here's something for you to chew on. What, 4D chess, what if Harry wanted Radiant to die inside the dream so that he could reveal that Radiant's actually reborn Harry?
Yes. Yes.
Wouldn't it be so cool? And this, I don't know if I want this to be a prediction, but wouldn't it be so cool if Radiant went down and came up as somebody else?
Yes.
Wouldn't that be
Is that your
so
prediction?
cool?
Please make that your prediction. I beg
That
you,
can be
please.
one of them. I'll
Okay,
make
that's
that
one of your
one just for
predictions.
Harry. Radiant goes down. but when he gets up, he's somebody else. You can decide what that means to yourself. Like either he's whoever this other person that he's seeing is, or
that
whatever.
as the death blow, one of the Fey gods comes in and stops the death blow, and
Whoever he was before, like whoever he's seeing in the dreams as himself, maybe that person shows up. I don't know, man.
Wait,
I don't know.
Do we think Radiant might have like allergic reactions to the mushrooms? If there's like the big mushroom ritual going on.
Yeah, because if he's from the Feywild, he might.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Reaction.
That's if he ever gets a chance to do them.
Yeah.
That's literally my spiciest.
Is that your spicy prediction?
That's a spicy one.
When Radiant goes down, he
because I don't know what's going to happen.
Dies.
I've already said how hard it is for me to predict the unpredictable, especially when it comes to Ben Starr. He is the least predictable.
We have established
at the table
that he is reckless. Yes, multiple times.
So not even reckless, kind of dumb, and also never doing the thing you expect him to do. Like remember when he brought somebody back just to be his new best friend, Brian? Or when he almost made out with a guy while described as his like paramour. Like you never know what this guy's gonna do. One I was thinking about was Dolly will try and get down to the prison to like make sure everyone's okay, and then they're not there. Like I think that's
during the night or whatever.
Like that's my normal, or she'll try. Like she's gonna make an effort for proof of life because he's not giving it to her on purpose. But like Dolly's going to want it. And like I just think I just think that makes sense for Dolly. She wants to make sure that she can get them out of here.
We didn't talk about the forest incident.
Oh.
So, we didn't talk about the forest incident.
The forest incident
if you watched the episode, you know
worst
what
luck.
The forest incident is. Well, it turned out to be the best luck.
I mean, it worked out great in the long run.
It worked out
but it did not seem like it was going to.
So, just a yes/no prediction. Will they use the back door? Nathan.
Yes.
Harry.
I hope so, yeah. They spent so long on it.
Yes, because I think Radiant understands that he can't just walk in by himself. That's because he'll never be able to. Yeah.
I'm going to go no, and he is going to walk in by himself through the front door.
Oh, God.
Okay. Shan, your prediction is becoming so much more likely by the minute.
Oh, God. Anyway, so yeah, my other prediction is that, like I said, she's going to make a concerted effort to get proof of life after. Because, like, the downside to killing Parvis is that now she, like, desperately wants to see her friends and make sure they're okay. So I can't imagine she won't try to get information. So, she's going to try and figure out where her friends are. To that effect, I also think, like, she wouldn't begrudge them if they left. Like, I know that became a sticking point as well. Like, she'll be so sad. I was like, no, I mean, you got to look out for number one. And also, they can't save her if they're dead. And then, is there anything else?
I don't think there's anything else to predict anymore. I think we predicted.
No, I mean, I can't really think of it. And like I said, I've never been good at like discussing implications of stuff or whatever because so much seems to happen on the fly that it's because it's it's you know, it's all in the dice. Yeah. So like I full props to anyone who can do that. It's just really hard for me because like I also sometimes hate being wrong. Not all the time. Like I actually am very good at like not having an ego, but like I would hate if I.
You do love being right though, Shan.
I love being right, yes. But the thing is, I mean everybody does. But the thing is like for me, it's like I don't want to get my hopes up for something that I'm like a theory that I'm attached to, and then be absolutely like rocked if that wasn't true. Like the reborn theory, for instance, that's existed for 31 episodes. Like it's also just like it's just hard for me to conceive. Like, I can try and come up with, like, some of Harry's stuff, maybe, like, especially with the Erastus lore drop. But when it comes to these characters, anything can happen, really. Like, I don't know.
Yes. anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
We've got our predictions locked in.
Yep.
No changing. Locked in.
You guys know what time it is.
I know what time it is.
It's mop up time.
Ow. Ow.
I could also just this once get Samuel.
Oh, yeah. I will not get my tower now.
I'll bring Samuel in. He sits right in front of me, so.
It's
You
very out of reach.
can't get my towel.
I also realized Ben spelled Raphael wrong. And when I was looking at it the other night.
I mean, there are multiple ways of spelling
No,
it, but
no. He forgot the H. I was like, is that an F? And then the logo was like, no, that's a P.
it's a Raphael.
Yeah, Raphael.
Raphael.
No, because I thought it was an F for the longest time, and then I was looking at it the other night, and I'm like, no, that's a P. He forgot the H.
Oh, Harry's
It's
got,
okay.
Harry's
It's
got
all
his
right.
lamp. Excellent.
He's got a lamp.
He does have the lamp. All right. Any other business, guys?
I don't think so.
Did we forget
I think we've
anything?
done it.
Is there anything else that Shan was correct about that we forgot?
It's just so funny because, like, I kept saying they were going to make up. And eventually
Yeah.
they did, and it was also one of my favorite scenes
We
so
did
far.
forget. We did forget the other
What did we
thing
forget?
that you were correct about.
What was it?
Spoilers in the watch party chat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
got
because the
clowned on
cast
by
was
Holly
in
and
there.
Aoife.
That was so funny. Like, all right, for those of you who weren't there, I was just trying to be nice, trying to be a good community member because I'm always trying to be a good community member. I have told Harry that I'm a good community member. I've made this very clear to Harry. I'm an excellent community. I've been here since day one. Don't know if I beat Harry, but I've been here since day one. And then, so I said, hey guys, just remember the cast could come in here, so please block out your spoilers just in case, because we don't know what they know. And Harry was like, no, they're
don't
not
worry
going to
about
come
it.
in here. Yeah, don't
I
worry
was
about
just
it.
Like, he's probably cool,
And
but
Aoife
like, I
and
don't know
Holly
why
were
I'm
there. Aoife and
Yeah.
Holly were watching the chat.
Uh-huh.
Aoife showed up.
Yeah, and I physically told them both that's a watching spoiler containment zone. Do so at your own risk.
No, but Holly was the one who asked us to spoiler block because she likes to come into the chat sometimes.
Cool. I didn't know that bit.
Yup. So
We did-
I was
everybody
being
know-
a good community
Everybody
member.
knows now.
Right.
Shan made sure that everybody knew.
And I will drop another reminder before episode 32, maybe when I do the spiel,
Mm-hmm.
just to get it out there.
The spiel was... The spiel was good this week, right?
I thought it was fun.
Oh, right. I wasn't here
I
for
don't
the spiel.
remember
That's the
exactly
big
what I
problem that caused
said.
it.
7, 8 out of 10 on the spiel, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what I said because I usually
That's
say
right.
about the same thing. I usually just
Yeah.
say, please watch it right now.
That's
All right.
the problem. I missed the spiel, I think.
well,
I missed the spiel. So
You snooze, you lose, buddy.
Yeah.
Um,
You
Right.
snooze, you get clowned.
You sure do.
the whole episode was us clowning on Harry, almost the whole thing. So, I did find it amusing that there were several people that needed to be muted.
I was so
inclu-
annoyed.
Including Harry.
Including
the
Harry
GM.
himself,
Yeah,
yes.
because
Including me.
let me make
No.
this clear for the
Harry-
listeners.
Oh, him. No. Yeah.
Yeah, Harry
Harry
McIntyre. Let me make this clear. I checked my phone when I switched to it because I have it set automatically to mute, enter muted on my phone. Now, I had realized I took the shift keys home from the store I had worked at because I wasn't supposed to work that day. And so I just ran to my car, but it was a big moment. I ran to my car and I swore I checked. It said muted. At some point it unmuted and I didn't see, but I wasn't really making a lot of noise. It was my dogs. And I think I was like texting someone. But like I was so annoyed to find out I was unmuted because I checked.
Yeah.
And it had unmuted. So like
Mm-hmm.
that was my B, but like it was my phone's fault because I checked.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't know what Harry McIntyre's excuse. Just kidding. I love Harry. He got my
good.
favorite. He got my favorite set of dice that I bought for the cast at PAX.
Aw.
I do love Harry McIntyre. You heard it here first.
Hell yeah.
Harry's feeling sorry for himself now.
Look at him! Look at him up against the wall. Listeners, he
It's
is
all right,
like
buddy. You're gonna
collapsed
get,
against
you're
the wall
gonna
in
get
agony.
your cookie bowl. Don't worry. Your
Right,
cookie bowl is
okay.
on the way.
Right.
Set of mixing bowls, lovely mixing bowls.
Okay.
Right. Shall we roll some poly?
Yes,
Let's
I'll
roll
do it
some
with my
polies.
new dice tower.
I'm having to
Same.
do it
First,
online.
Or my new
So
dice, my
first
new
roll.
dice.
First roll with the new dice.
It's so
Yes.
sad. I'm having to roll it online.
Oh, you didn't bring any with
Do
you.
you want me to put them in
No.
the tower?
Yeah.
Minus the D4, please, because I'm worried that will break.
Roll.
I did like that Ben said, "How much would you pay me to eat the D4?" And they were like, "No, that one will
Please
kill
don't.
you."
Please don't. Yeah.
Roll.
And I used the natural 6 dice for. Oh, this isn't going to be good. I used the natural 6 dice for my my game this weekend.
Very ASMR there, Shan.
Yep, that's what.
Nicely done.
Ever since Harry, like, it literally stopped Harry in his tracks at PAX, and he like made it clear on serving cantrip that he actually thought it sounded really nice. Like now I'm kind of like, oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, it does sound very nice.
Sounds satisfying, right?
It is. I love that. That was one of my favorite moments when like Ben was dropping all of his damage dice in one at a time, and Harry just like froze mid sentence, just like,
All
yeah,
right,
we're really using our
Mr.
resources.
Mr. Harry the Mod. Your
I
numbers
got.
here.
I'm about in the middle.
Yep.
I'm perfectly middle. Is that we're doing this skip budget? We're going straight in. I got 70.
I got 72.
Oh damn! I'm still getting owned even outside of the episode.
Ooh.
So
I
70,
don't know.
72.
Shan's about to get owned.
Oh my gosh!
The cat is going to remove that headset.
She's in my
Um,
hair.
Nathan, sir.
Oh,
So
Your-
my first roll with the new dice, and technically my first ever D&D roll,
Oh my gosh!
122.
Ooh,
Oh
excellent.
my gosh!
Excellent.
Wowzers.
There's no such thing as beginner's luck. It's
Mhm.
it's all skill.
It's the new dice. That's what it is.
So is this your first ever set of dice?
No, so I bought another set. I've got them just here,
damn.
like
Uh-huh.
a metal
Yeah, show them
set
to the camera.
for what we were gonna do. They're like a little
Ooh,
metal and gold
nice.
set.
Ooh.
But we never used them. So
okay.
yeah,
So this is your first like real proper roll then.
yeah.
All right.
And I have another set of dice somewhere that someone had bought me ready for what we were gonna play as well, but I can't find them at the moment. But
Excellent. Shan, your last. What did you get?
Kind of bummed because it's not even near as good as the one. Well, the one I did in merch chat wasn't even that good, but this is even worse. I got a 58.
Shan, 58.
I
you
also
can't-
wrote them down in my
you-
notebook.
Cannot be correct with everything, Shan.
What do you mean? Would you like me to read them to you? I wrote them down.
What do you mean by you wrote them down?
Oh, you mean I can't be right? I got it. Well, first of all, this isn't right. This is random. So yeah, I can't be right because it's impossible to be right. I didn't predict how much I would roll in my defense. Second, and I said this when I played my game the other day, but these, I can't quite get the natural 6 dice all back in their slots neatly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Exactly.
they're tricky. Yeah.
My D4 is always like on the loose. Oh, I think I messed them up again.
All right.
That was a
Keep
bummer
your
one for
D20,
me. Oh, I have a different D20 I'll use.
or if you want to use a different one, you will
I'm
need
going to
a D20.
use my new Magic the Gathering D20 with a Moogle on it.
Very nice.
Okay.
Roll your D20s, please. Here's your here. This is a real roll, though. Nathan. This is rolling initiative. So,
Here, I'll roll it in the dice tower.
all right.
Oh,
Excellent.
the second one was worse, but that's fine. I'll still use the second one.
Anyone 15 or higher? No.
Uh-oh. No.
All right, I've got 14. Anyone 10 or higher?
Congratulations.
Yeah, got a 12.
Harry?
No, that wasn't me putting my hand up.
Oh. So Shan?
4.
Harry?
4.
So
right.
here's the thing. I rolled
We're
it
gonna have to roll
first
off.
and had a 14, and then I put it in the dice tower, and it was a 4.
Can we have to roll
I
off?
should have done Skullboy Do Me Okay. It's a 4. Hold on. Little Skullboy Do Me Okay. What'd you get?
What did you get? I got a 13.
I got a 2.
Oh.
All right. Okay. I will go first because I'm gonna with my super high 14 because I'm gonna remind everybody that next podcast episode we have the lovely Eve from Eve's World Building who will be joining us. That episode we'll be filming on the 1st of July, probably come out on the 2nd or 3rd. I'm very excited about that. If you have questions for Eve, you know where to find us on the Natural Six Discord. You can do so on the podcast channel, or you can DM me directly. Nathan, do you have any questions for Eve?
Oh, that's what put me in the spot. Not at the minute. If I get any, I'll put them in the I'll put them in the chat.
We'll obviously be there with Eve, so we can ask her whatever questions. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then shoutouts from me. Thank you very much, Nathan, for joining us. Hopefully you had a good time.
Thanks for having me.
For the modception. Thank you to Shan and Harry for being lovely co-hosts as usual. We haven't broken Harry's spirit yet. We'll try again here in 2 weeks.
No, I've not broken your spirit yet with like my various different, things that cause problems for production.
We're gonna let him go to bed. We got the Wi-Fi sorted out, so we're all good, man. There were no hiccups. And
I look really small next to this chair. I'm sorry to say this.
It does look like a massive
It does.
chair.
Yeah, you look very small.
So thank you to you all. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
Next is Nathan, I believe.
Thanks. So thanks for having me. It's been fun. Even though I can't speak properly, apparently. Shout out, obviously, the Patreon. If you can sub at any tier, please go and sub, because there's loads of exclusives in there. I think there's 9 or 10 things due this month that are all Patreon exclusive. Definitely worth it. And some interesting background in the Clark's stuff as well. Definitely worth a listen. Yeah. Thanks very much.
Excellent. Well done.
Oh, that was the other thing. Thank you, everyone, for behaving in the Discord while myself and Harry have been here and haven't been able to really do anything else with the Discord. So no mod mails, nothing. That's been lovely. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Things haven't been on fire.
I don't think so.
Excellent. Harry.
Yeah, definitely echo what Nathan says about, thank you everyone for keeping the Discord a good, happy, fun place. In terms of shout outs, again, also shout out to, Eric, who's currently finishing a Chamber of Stars. So he's going to finish that up over this next month. He got into Natural Six while he was finishing off that entire game, fun fact. So, maybe we have to have him on at some point. Also, shout out, because I can now say it, shout out to BAFTA Young Game Designers, which tomorrow, by the time this will go out, the awards ceremony, the awards online video will have already happened. For the BAFTA YGDs 2025, which is the 15-year anniversary. But also on the 20th and 29th, actually the 29th is the public showcase. Public showcase on the 29th in London. You can come and play some really cool games made by some really cool young people. I will also be there. And yeah, shout out to BAFTA Young Game Designers, especially because I can now say that I was on the literal final jury for the Game Concept Awards this year, which is friggin' wild and crazy, and it was very cool, and I can personally say that all of them were very good games.
Excellent, Harry. Do you have anyone who from the Discord who will be coming to the event?
No,
Okay.
I don't know. Me.
Just
Me.
at this point.
Me,
Cool.
but like it's a scheme that like Aoife like has been like a massive big like supporter of. Like she does a lot of stuff like the workshops. I've actually done like a workshop with Aoife like previously back in like Dundee, to do with YGD, which was really fun. So yeah, like there might be a few like industry people around, fun people, that kind of thing, and I hope there'll be more people to go because it'll be really funny to have a
Sweet.
lot of natural
There
six
is a
people come
thread
out.
on the Discord if you would like to find out more.
There is, yeah, and yeah, shout out to all of you guys. Shout out to all of you. Thank you for dealing with whatever I am.
It's not hard.
Okay.
It's not hard. Right. Serenade us, Shan.
I don't know. Shout out to the cats. Less so Gouda, because he chewed through my speaker wire and now I have no speakers. Shout out to the Discord community, as always. Great stuff. Shout out to, I'm trying to think of, like, I've had such a wild week emotionally, so I don't even know who I want to shout out to my mechanic, who repaired my tire today for free. Because it was brand new and I was really mad. Shout out to the Philadelphia Phillies for winning when I was there. Shout out to you guys for being here and listening to me and admitting when I'm right. And shout out to my AXB for DMing for our one shot on Sunday. And to everybody in the squad who either popped in to listen or played the game. It was really fun. Thank you for being patient with me. Though I was really like, I went in with no ego because I was like, I can't. There's literally, I have nothing to be confident about here. But thank you to everyone who helped me out there. It was really fun and I had a great time. And I can't wait to try my hand at it again, maybe for with more prep time, because 2 hours is not a lot of time.
Goes quick.
Yeah, and I don't I can't think of anything else, so the cat is here now.
That's a very nice hook,
Yep.
Shan, for you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much for listening. If you Nathan already mentioned it, but if you don't know about the Natural Six Patreon, I don't know what you're doing, but and how you've got to listen to this point. We did get some wacky stats this last couple episodes with random people coming and watching our videos for like hours at a time. So maybe you don't know anything about Natural Six. So go check out the Patreon. Nathan already mentioned there's tons of cool stuff this month. If you don't subscribe for any other month, then this is the month to subscribe.
Yeah, they don't track your information. They don't read your texts.
No.
I actually upped my patronage because they don't read my texts. So yeah.
Excellent. And I think that's it. I think that's the show.
I think that is.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Ta-ra.
Bye.